Thank you, everybody. Good evening. What is going on? We've got FairGrow here up in a place, bit of an impromptu stream. Wednesday works with the TERPS. But before I continue, let me take this minute to give my respect, recognition, and acknowledgement to all the original and traditional custodians of the land masses around the world, that being the Indigenous people, past, present, and future. Just broadcasting that to try and raise some awareness about this fact, to bring some more sense of harmony between all cultures and our connection to nature. And where I am at the moment in Adelaide Plains, this is Ghana country. So much respect to that fact. Big ups, everybody. And ganja is the greatest gift given. Hopefully the audio is coming through fairly good and you can hear me more clear. So much peace. And yeah, I just thought I'll definitely drop the link and have a chat. It's just haven't been broadcasting, so I come through. But I was just looking. What's going on here? This guy's got it. Behind me is a beautiful Fijian flag, by the way. But I was just checking out. I had an idea. I was just going through the Google quickly to see a few topics I was thinking, because it is now end of the year, last month, and I guess there'll be people traveling around again because we can. It's it's been a little bit of time since we have been able to, so I thought I'd just go and check something like this out. About the regulations on traveling with your prescription cannabis around Australia. I did check out a couple other sites. There's some, if you want, you Google it yourself, go on TGA and Australian government websites. But this one here, it's cannabisplace.com. So pretty much just, I haven't checked it all out, but, how to travel with medical marijuana in Australia. But, just before I do go further, I'm not a lawyer, so this isn't permanent legal advice. This is just a rough overview. So if you want to be certain, seek a little bit more further counsel, I guess, from someone, legal advisor, and check the state by state, where regulations where you go. But anyway, let's put it that. Okay, how to travel between states with medical marijuana cannabis is legal across Australia, but here's what you need to know when traveling with weed in Australia. This was the 22nd of January 2020, so written by Constance Williams. You could make sure you check it up to date as well. So, do you live in Australia and wonder if you can domestically or internationally travel through the country with medical cannabis? Cannabis Place takes a deeper look into how patients can travel between Australia's 6 states and in and out of the country with marijuana. To travel with medicinal cannabis, you require a prescription of your CBD or THC medicine, a note from your doctor saying that you can travel with marijuana, identification with the same name matching the prescription, the official cannabis container with the brand and prescription on it. Although the Australian government has approved the use of medicinal cannabis for more than 3 years ago, the legal framework is still in a complicated grey area, particularly with Canberra's new legislation of recreational cannabis to come to effect this year, as written in 2020. Patients must research state and territory government regulations that apply differently from state to state and what different modes of transport that are affected. So there is a little video here from Mary Jane News. That's something related to Snoop. He's got a channel there. I haven't checked out the video. You guys can probably check it out if you want. I don't know if it's related directly to Australia. But so here, traveling with medicinal cannabis can be frightening due to the amount of uncertainty many patients have to face in ensuring they are following the law and their safety in general public, including airports, shipping terminals, bus and train stations. Planning ahead for your trip will help you guide yourself across borders smoothly. Talk to your medical Talk to your medical practitioner. In order to bring any medical cannabinoid products into and out of Australia for personal use, you will need a traveller's exemption. Obtaining a prescription from your doctor can confirm the medicines you are carrying you have been prescribed to. A letter from your doctor can suffice if it states that you are under their treatment. The medications you are carrying have been prescribed only for you, and it must specify the name of the medication and the dosage. You can bring 3 months' supply of medicine into Australia. There was something else I wanted to teach you. So while declaring all medication to the Australian Border Force, you must also ensure that the medication remains in its original packaging with the dispensing label intact to identify each substance at the border. The Australian Border Force needs to be able to identify what the substances are so that they can determine if the product is subject to any import restrictions. If you are a patient in the Pharmaceutical Benefits Scheme, a program that provides subsidised prescription drugs to residents of Australia, the Department of Human Services Travelling with PBS Medicines page provides a template where you can give it to your doctor. Transiting between countries can be very dangerous. Currently, it is extremely difficult to carry medicinal cannabis while flying internationally, although it has been prescribed by your doctor, as it remains a restricted product in most countries. Make sure that when you are transiting in any other country to check their regulations about carrying medical cannabis. Some countries, such as the United Arab Emirates, have extremely strict laws that consider cannabis in any form as a psychotropic substance with high potential for abuse and a dangerous drug. If caught in possession of cannabis, there are significant jail terms and heavy penalty fines. The Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade has a list of foreign embassies and consulates in Australia. It is vital to contact the local government authority to check their legislation on carrying medical cannabis. It's pretty important. If you go to this, so what's also important is to get permission in writing from them to carry with you as you enter the country. There are some countries that, despite having legal cannabis federally, they still not allow cannabis from another country, even with it prescribed legally. Even if it was prescribed legally, carrying medicinal cannabis interstate when traveling by aeroplane has not been tested in a court of law. So I'll state that again. Carrying medicinal cannabis interstate when traveling by aeroplane has not been tested in a court of law. However, it is generally accepted that medicinal cannabis as a prescribed medication in the original packaging will be exempt from confiscation and prosecution for patients traveling between states, but this does not qualify when traveling by train. Research the different regulations of possession between state and state. Research the different regulations of possession between state and territory governments. There are 6 states in Australia and 2 territories: New South Wales, Queensland, South Australia, Tasmania, Victoria, Western Australia, Australian Capital Territory, and the Northern Territory. Each Australian state and territory has a specific requirement or have specific requirements about which patients who can carry restricted medications across borders. Under the legislative instrument, the standard for the uniform scheduling of medicines and poisons that classifies drugs into different schedules to signify the degree of control available to the public, most medical cannabis products are under Schedule 4, prescription-only medicine, and Schedule 8, a controlled drug. So it goes down here, breaks it state by state. So ACT, Australian Capital Territory, the cannabis laws are changing in the ACT with the decriminalisation of cannabis. However, medical prescription laws for CBD and THC oils are still in place. Under the under the ACT controlled medicines prescription prescribing standards, medicinal cannabis can be approved for patients with the following conditions: spasticity in multiple sclerosis, nausea and vomiting for cancer, pain and anxiety related to active malignancy from a life-limiting disease, which with a prognosis of 12 months or less, refractory pediatric epilepsy. There are official services available in the ACT to find out more information. So there's a couple of things there. For New South Wales, the New South Wales Authority Prescribing Authority under the Poisons and Therapeutic Goods Act of 1966, or the Poisons Therapeutic Act of 2008, is required when prescribing or supplying a Schedule A medicine to a drug-dependent person for registered or unregistered medicine that is compounded for use in a clinical trial if unregistered. The cannabis medicine Sativex is plant-derived and is the only cannabis medicine currently registered in Australia on the ARTG approval for the treatment of moderate to severe spasticity in multiple sclerosis. There are official services available in New South Wales to find out more information. Okay, there's some more information here about similar things state by state. We'll really break it down about the travel. But if you want to, people going to hit the stake up there. Always ways to bring your medical cannabis without getting yourself in trouble, as long as you bring the right documents and have done your research. Keep your head low and to stay calm. So happy traveling. So there's some references and stuff there. You can obviously check it out so to get some further info. I was going through probably also the fees associated with I'll just bring it up quickly, I guess. There we go. Stop. So much peace, everybody. Thanks for coming through. I'll drop the link in a second to sort of run through this information. Appreciate everybody hanging around, man. Much peace. And so this one is someone from the Australian government. I was trying to look up basically in regards to if there's a possibility of a license from a medical patient to grow. So the guy didn't really have a deep look, but just checking out here. So this is from, I guess, there's a site called the ODC, right? So I think obviously the Office of Drug Control. So there we go, Office of Drug Control, fees and charges of medicinal cannabis regulation. So anyway, so this was the 22nd of June 2022. So I'm thinking this is more in regards to people like with companies. But I guess it could apply to any single person. Yeah, maybe you need to be in corporation to have a look at it, but the fees associated with it would be pretty far out there for like about one patient to be applying. So anyway, we'll keep going down here. Excuse me for burping. So the Office of Drug Control within the Department of Health and Aged Care collects fees and charges for the medicinal cannabis scheme under the Narcotics Act of 1967. Fees are charged when a good, service or regulation is provided directly to a specified entity or organization. The Narcotics Drug Regulation 2016 outlines the fees that are applicable to the scheme. Charges are also known as levies and are charged when a good, service or regulation is provided to a group of individuals or organizations. The Narcotic Drugs License Charges Regulation 2016 outlines the charges that can be imposed under the scheme. So the information on this page does not relate to licenses and permits granted under the Narcotic Drugs Act for the manufacture of other narcotic drugs. So I'll just go through this one quickly, like whatever. So just like I try to also find out updated things, but anyway, prices as at 1st of July 2021. Right, so this is basically I've run down the table below. This describes all current fees of the scheme. So the single application license for the receipt, assessment, decision, and notification or decision for a single medicinal cannabis license application, $8,000. Now, I think that's just to get the process rolling, right? So you're applying to get all these things done. You need to have AK let out for that, and then another 3.5 from your permit application for the receiving assessment for decision making, notification of a decision for the medicinal cannabis permit. So there's, and then 2 license variations here, 1,000. The other one for a minor, the major one being 5,500. Permit variation, $120 for a minor, $2,900 for the major. Planned inspections, an inspection that is associated with the application of following kind, a license, a permit, or the variation of a license. Permit was $3,500 approximately. And then you've got an annual license charge. An annual license charge is imposed on all license holders when a license is granted each year thereafter on the anniversary date of the license. The annual license charge is designed to recover the following costs of the ODC in regulating the scheme. Response to mandatory notification by the license holder in accordance with Section 20 of the NDR 2016 public concern tip-off inspections, which is a compliance monitoring inspection in response to a tip-off or complaint from the public. Continuous improvement activities with the ODC. Now that's $12,000. So $12,010. We've also got an annual site charge. An annual site charge is imposed on a license holder after the first permit is granted, which indicates the commencement of authorized activities at the licensed site. The annual site charge is designed to recover the following costs to the ODC, and it's $19,000, $19,230 each year. Site charge, right? And then so there was another few things down. Fees and charges are calculated at $108 per person per hour, plus reimbursement of reasonable travel expenses. So they got just a few little other things there. So just a little bit of just a quick overview, I guess. But so I don't think it's really reasonable to think that it's possible for a medicinal patient to pay a fee and have a license to grow as of yet, unless you're willing to kind of put this amount of money out to be able to grow for yourself. Check this one out here. I'm losing some people. I'm losing everybody with my board. I might be getting bored. It's all cool. It's all cool. I'll put the link down there if anybody wants to jump up. All good. All good. It's been about 20 minutes, so I'll keep going for a while for sure. There's one more thing. I'll just go through these things. Might chat for another 5 minutes, but come up if you want. Either way, it's all good. So that was the ODC website. So what's this other one? There's another one. So if you go to the PGA, this was that traveler's exemption. So anybody's just, talking about this kind of stuff if you're traveling around in the next, couple of months for the holiday period or whatever. Check out the rules of the, medicinal cannabis, to make sure you research it thoroughly. But so it's basically talking about travel exemption. At 3 months was supposed to under the sub-regulation 5, section 2 of the Customs Prohibited Import Regulations 1956, a traveller or travellers on board a ship or aircraft entering Australia to carry up to 3 months supply of therapeutic good for the medicinal treatment of that passenger or another passenger under his or her care, where that good was prescribed by a medicinal practitioner. Evidence that the amount imported does not exceed those specified in the prescription for a 3-month period may be required to provide on entry into Australia. This exemption does not specify the country of origin of this prescription, but does not require that the importer has a prescription given by a medicinal practitioner and was supplied to the person in accordance with that prescription, i.e. dispensing through a pharmacist rather than the supply from some other form of retail or other mechanism. This may be evidenced in the packaging label of the therapeutic good. Note that a prescription is a particular form of medical documentation, which is a higher standard of documentary evidence than the written authority required for the personal import of non-controlled substances. Medical cannabis is often provided in other countries by mechanisms other than a prescription, such as authorization provisions, may not meet the requirements of the Customs Regulations 1956. Another one, and then oh shit. The last one I was looking at. Freedom weeds at banana farmer, that is right. And that is something I probably do kind of agree with, and that's my train of thought. And going to a couple of these like events where it's what do they call like a workshop, networking, just some of these places, deregulation rather than, like legalization, deregulated legalization. So no government control, no legislation about it, just exactly what you said, kind of letting it free and letting the community work itself out, and I think that would be the absolutely utmost best way, and because as it exists currently, right? And there's no real craziness or incredible violence going on. People are getting sick and getting hurt, so it's it's not like a boogeyman thing that if the laws change and people will get worried about it. This, I guess, people are unaware anyway, and also the fact of the bad weed would take over. There'll be sort of all this negative element. But as I said before previously, I do really feel that the good product would just kind of filter everything else out, and the people would be going to these places, and eventually it just work out for the best, and giving the most reach, I guess, and access to it, and are concerned with it, rather than having all these kind of hurdles that we've got to deal with currently. So that's the last page I was kind of looking at. So it's just I was trying to find updated things as of the most current. Yeah. So like this one's here from what? Investigating News, Cannabis Investigating News, state-by-state guide to cannabis in Australia, updated 2022. I haven't looked at this yet. See how long it is. I guess read the first little bit here. So cannabis is largely illegal in Australia, but the rules differ from state to state. Here's what to know about cannabis in all 8 areas of the country. Australia federally legalized medicinal cannabis in 2016, and its marijuana market has seen significant growth since then. A study from Fresh Leaf Analytics pegs Australian medical market sales at $230 million in 2021, while research firm Prohibition Partners indicates that Oceanic cannabis industry is expected to be worth an impressive $1.55 billion US by 2024. Medicinal cannabis in Australia is expected to account for 40% of the industry. Despite that growth, the country's marijuana industry is still young. Recreational use is not yet in sight, and even medical access remains limited and highly regulated. Even so, public support for legalization continues to grow, nearly doubling in 6 years. Currently, only 2 medicinal cannabis products certificates and Epidiolex are registered with the Therapeutic Goods Administration, and none are subsidised through the country's pharmaceutical benefit scheme. Patients who want to access medicinal cannabis must go through special pathways, and doctors who want to prescribe medicinal cannabis have to apply to do so. The situation gets more complex at the state and territory level, as each of Australia's have different rules that must be. Each area of Australia has different rules that must be followed. Read on for the further breakdown medicinal recreational cannabis in Australia, 6 states and 2 territories. So we've got New South Wales. I'll just see if anybody's back there. No. Much peace, everybody. Thanks for hanging around. Let's read this last little bit and go have a chop, have a chat, if anyone wants to come up. So, Guide to Cannabis in Australia, New South Wales. The use, supply, and possession of cannabis is illegal in New South Wales, but first-time offenders with a small amount on hand may be issued with a caution. Up to 2 cautions can be received. They often come with a referral for drug-related information. The New South Wales government recognised the potential of medical cannabis to treat debilitating or terminal illness. Any doctor can prescribe medicinal cannabis if it is determined an appropriate treatment and the doctor has the approvals required to do so. In another show of support for the drug, the New South Wales government has established the Centre for Medicinal Cannabis Research and Innovation to educate the community and monitor clinical trials. Over 9 million Australian has been allocated to the centre by the New South Wales government. It is researching key areas to help children with epilepsy, cancer patients who require pain management, appetite inducement and reduction of nausea, and chronic pain in spinal cord injury patients. That's pretty cool. So in Victoria, recreational marijuana possession and use is a criminal offence in Victoria, but similar to New South Wales, those caught with a first offence for 50 grams or less are typically given a caution and directions to attend drug counselling. It is more serious if there are additional charges or if a person is found with over 50 grams, 250 grams, or i.e. 250 grams or 10 plants is considered a trafficable quantity of cannabis. Right, so just repeating there, Victoria, 250 grams of 10 plants is considered a trafficable quantity of cannabis. Medicinal cannabis can be prescribed by any doctor for a patient with any condition if they believe it is clinically, if they have obtained approval from the Commonwealth or state. Victoria was the first state to legalise medical marijuana use, and young children suffering from epilepsy were first to gain access. So in Queensland, growing cannabis or recreational use is illegal under 4 different acts. Under the Drugs Misuse Act of 1996, unlawful possession, supply, production, and trafficking have maximum penalties of up to 20 years imprisonment, depending on the circumstances such as how much cannabis is involved. Medicinal use is less frowned upon in Queensland, as any registered medical practitioner in the state can prescribe medicinal cannabis if clinically appropriate. The medical practitioner must have obtained Commonwealth approval in most circumstances. However, after the new legislation changes in June 2020, any doctor can prescribe Schedule 4 CBD or Schedule 8 THC or CBD oil products without formal approval from the state health authorities. Medicinal cannabis can be administered via vapor, capsules, sprays, or tinctures. Smoking cannabis is not allowed in Queensland. Advertising is restricted to medical, wholesale, and pharmaceutical professions only. South Australia, cannabis oil, and cannabis resins are illegal to keep, use, grow, sell, or give away in South Australia. And so possession for personal use can be penalised with an expiation which means a fine that does not attract a criminal conviction. Large-scale trafficking or selling can attract big penalties of up to $1 million Australian or 15 years to life imprisonment, or both. Those looking for medical cannabis products can obtain them via prescription from an authorised medicinal practitioner in the region. Approval under South Australian controlled substances legislation is also often required, although there are exemptions for elderly and terminal patients. That's pretty cool. So in Western Australia, even though Western Australia officially decriminalised cannabis in 2004, the Premier Colin Barnett repealed the decision in 2011 as a part of tough on crime approach. Possession of 10 grams or less can result in a cannabis intervention requirement. If the person is 18 or older, they may receive only one CIR. Younger persons can receive 2. More than 10 grams result in a fine of up to $2,000 Australian, 2 years in jail, or both. Penalties are larger for possession of more than 100 grams. Driving with THC in your system is an offence in WA, regardless of whether it is medicinal or recreational. Personal cultivation is illegal. Medicinal cannabis is available via prescription from any doctor in Western Australia, provided they have the required approval. Prescriptions can be dispensed at any pharmacy. There's 2 more here. Northern Territory. Cannabis is largely decriminalised in the Northern Territory, but possession of a small quantity in a public place still carries an imprisonment penalty. Possession of less than 50 grams in your own home is penalised with a fine only. The penalty of cultivating even small amounts of even less than 5 plants is a 200 penalty units or 2 years imprisonment. A commercial quantity of more than 20 plants results in life imprisonment, as does cultivation in front of a child. The first Northern Territory medicinal cannabis patient to fill a script did so in 2019, but uptake has been slow since then, and the Northern Territory has a low number of users. That's largely because there are few doctors who are authorised prescribers in NT, and as the area is remote, travel is not feasible for all residents. There's one last thing here. Guide to Cannabis in Australia, Australian Capital Territory. In September 2019, the ACT passed a bill to legalise the possession of small amounts of cannabis for personal use as of January 31, 2020. If the possessor is 18 years of age or older, it's important to note that the ACT's state laws conflict with federal laws, which still prohibit the recreational use of cannabis. ACT residents who are over 18 can carry up to 50 grams of dry cannabis or 150 grams of wet material and grow as many as 2 plants per person, 4 per household, although the 50-gram amount is less than what one plant produces. Exceeding limits precipitates a fine, not criminal charges. Plants must also be grown outdoors only, leaving them open to theft. Medicinal cannabis is available for patients with a number of conditions and also on a case-by-case basis. Doctors have a approval from the ACT Chief Health Officer and the Therapeutic Goods Administration to prescribe. This was an updated version of an article published by the INN in 2021. So there you go. Hope there was some decent information there that you could relate with, and just check it out. Because that's one thing which kind of is important to me. Like, the information has to be kind of correct and up to date. Like, there's a lot of hearsay going on, and there's a lot of people out there who watch these programs. That they want to learn. They could be young. They could be any sort of age, right? So, and there's also a great risk and a great penalty up at stake. So, it'd be disappointing if there's any one person out there that takes some information they've got from these sort of streams and ends up in a worse off position. Like, we want to take them in the right way, get them off on a better path, a progressive path. Either way. But I'm not, I just would say, but I said before, I'm not legal, I'm not a lawyer, so this isn't like legal information or anything. I'm just referring to it as kind of talk material. If you do want to go seek proper counsel, I'll put the link in there for people. So much peace. We've got a few people up in here. Mont's coming in, knocking at the front door. How you doing, my brother? Just put this one down, bring them up. Bing bong. Howdy, brother. Good to see you go. Yeah, not bad, man. Just doing the late night. See a few people there around. Let's see how it's coming through, right? Thanks for coming up.
Oh, it's all good.
What's going on over there?
Yeah, not much. Just finished a bit of moving today.
Oh, yeah, congratulations, bro. That's good. Is it all done or you still got a while to do?
Almost done, yeah. Finished by tomorrow.
You happy so far?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yep.
Excellent.
Just good
So in the new place by Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, did you have something to say about what was going on?
Yeah, each state. It was good to hear each state accurately.
Yeah. I mean, obviously check it out yourself. I mean, like for the people who are watching and listening, just go Google it and try and research yourself. But
Yeah.
Where is it?
Definitely what you should do in each state. Check what state you're in.
Because there is like possible, there's risk out there, and there's a chance that you could have a bad outcome, and you don't want that. So, anyway.
You'd hate someone to take the advice or took you what you were saying as gospel and got themselves in trouble.
Yeah, or anyway, that's it, eh?
Yeah.
Well, in my channel, so I'll put a pack of Billy, eh? Pack of a Billy. Pack of a Billy. No. What's going on in the chat? I'll go for have a look over here.
I managed to score some purple bud today.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic. What do you think? Was it purple just to look at it, or,
It's a little frosty in that. It's just, it hasn't been dried and cured. So.
Yeah, see, that's the irritating part about most of the kind of street I find now since having some really terrible, like you still get good ones out there occasionally, but you find that, oh shit, like it looks great, you see some trikes, but you smoke it and it's like bang, no terps, just
the smell is horrible too. Yeah, it just has that humid sort of indoor smell about it. It's hard to describe. It's funny.
Pee in the night. Yeah, I don't know about that. Do you reckon? Do you think that's every single situation would be that the fact that it's just not cured well? Like if you got something that it looks good, looks pretty decent, and from naked eye you could see a few trikes and stuff. But as we just talking about, the smoke is just disappointing. Do you think that no matter how that was grown, but at that process,
I think
coming up, what do you think?
I think
So
maybe there's a
hopefully-
little bit of both, but I definitely think they're stuffing it with the dry and curing, just trying to get it out the door quick for money.
Mm. Oh, so this was kind of still production level. Well,
Where is your
cool.
pick, AA? Where's the pick? So we can look. Purple lemonade dangus. Okay. I would have to turn my phone around, but get my fucking camera around the other way. I'll pull one out. I'm in the dark too, so I've got my torch on.
There's 20 people in here nearly, mate. I took ganja minutes late night spot. Nah. 5-day plastic bag special.
Not that camera. Oh, no.
Oh. Oh yeah, good time, mate. True that. You did mention that last night. It's the moon now, so it's obviously there is some vibrations and frequencies going around, emanating between the ground, the soil, the atmosphere. I guess it's got to do with the water, right? There we go.
Oh, the torch isn't going to let it bloody focus. I have to turn the light on now. Okay. Doesn't look very purple under the camera, does it?
Sorry. Is it the calyxes or the leaves that are? Oh, I guess you can see that. Yeah, I know. A little bit there under the bottom when you flipped it, you can see the purple bit.
Yeah. Doesn't show up very good. I don't know whether I'm using the proper camera tune. Like, there's freaking so many.
It's so dense, though. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, that looks pretty cool there. Should be. Yeah, man. Damn it. It's that the thing is just filled with pistols, right? Mad bug, but it's just full of hairs with no further development. And the hairs didn't get a chance to grow any tracks. What's going on in Australia?
Today, more pics today.
Yeah, funny, huh? Yeah.
My bowl looks feral. That's just all resin on it. Right. Bowl looks feral.
I love it with that. Like, you show some shit and it was like looking in your background and looking at you like,
Alright.
Yeah, exactly. Like, when you just see, even just looking from that thing, you could just tell when you turn it upside down, it was so, the stem was thin and all, but it was just so dense with hairs. So,
yeah. I don't know why they fucking get good strain like purple strain and go fucking it.
yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, that's what it's come down to. Right? Exactly. Right?
Yeah.
There's no bean out there which is like gonna turn out like that if done well. You know.
Yeah, like they're just turning every weed into the same fucking look. Like it just ends up finishing the same. He's talking about the bowl, right? I say your bowl hammer. How old is your bowl hammer? Mine's like 20 years old, I think. I have not changed it.
I prefer to get it like a razor.
It's there, right? Right.
You get one of those one-blade razors, those Gillette ones. You can just the fucking razor. I like to scrape the rest off instead of pouring a little ISO in it and then drying it off. I've tried that a couple times in different attempts. It just was a mess.
I just rather let it get thick up and then, yeah, when it gets thick, it busts off. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always tend to do it quickly though. Like I'll let it get thick and whatnot, but I'm always like same with the mother. I'm never really letting that chunk out. Like when you see PCPs or others, it's just fluffed. I'm always taking it out.
It gets it to stick up in the lid for so long.
Yeah. Just letting it go, which is cool.
Yeah. Thanks, Darren. Yeah. Fucking let me have a look at your bowl hammer. I want to see your background.
It's good. And are you finding there's been a end of year kind of drought, shortage of supply or something? That goes for everybody in the chat. Like usually, thanks Nico. Thanks for coming through, brother. Have a good day tomorrow. Hopefully, rest up, mate. What is tomorrow? Thursday. And at the same time, I guess thinking about the fact we have so much of this production for around our culture, or in Australia, I guess, around the scene. It's another sad thing to think that the price point we pay in comparison to the rest of the world. I think it goes pretty much with everything on these black markets, but we've got this really shit house quality, and then they're probably paying extreme in comparison to other people. But anyway, whatever the fuck it is.
It's what annoys me, man. They had that purple bud and some allegedly green AK-47.
Allegedly green, Rudy. What do you mean?
Yeah, pretty good hammer. I stayed level this month. Because, dropping the 2.5 off 17.5 down to 15 hurt this time, whereas every other 2.5 drop didn't.
Oh, okay. How many days?
Well, yeah, I don't know.
How many days do you feel on that?
It's hard. Like most of the day I go without feeling it, and then just at certain points I can feel just like, when you can feel your own heat, radiating off your body and just start cooking off, flushing. Yeah.
Yeah. And how long has that been? You've been down to 15?
a month now.
Whoa.
Yeah.
He's still copping that. Well, that's
Yeah.
I'm actually similarly at the same. I'm on the same level. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, like 17.5, and wanting to drop, but then obviously we've spoken about this though too. I'm aware that that's a pretty. I was on 2.5 reduction, and then just that it's a gap is getting a lot. So she wasn't willing to put it down. I got to go. She's still got an appointment tomorrow, so we'll probably go down to something smaller, and my plan will be swapped to the Butte. But
I asked to put it down to smaller than 2.5. Right, like, because I was like, oh, yeah, I don't know whether, like, now we're down at 15, taking 2.5 jumps, like, that's going to be a bigger percentage than what it was. I'm like, yeah, this month wasn't that good. I'd like to just stay level for another month, get used to it, and then we'll think about it. Like, and he goes, oh, we'll just do that from now on. Every 2 months, we'll just drop 2.5. I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to hurt where I'm thinking debacle.
Take it to 1.25.
Yeah, and I'm like, can't we just like 1.25? And he goes, oh, I don't think the chemists can do that. And I've gone, I think they can. That fucking thing that creeps by like points. Dunk, dunk, dunk. That fucking thing they put on top of the bottle.
Yeah. Actually, that's what my pharmacist had a bit of. Like, they didn't mind, but the first one had, as a joke, he had a wheezer. He was like, when it got down to this point, he was like, oh, it's going to be fucking hard to calculate. Blah, blah, blah. But I found out that it's just like 0.5. So it's like 1 mil or 1.5 mil if it's going down that 2.5. So obviously they could work that out too, right? If you wanted to divide that into half, then yeah. I haven't seen those bottles, but I'm pretty sure there's marks, right? There's 10 marks per 100 mils.
Yeah, I don't want to go to Butte. I don't want to go to Butte, Aussie either. I've watched others do it, and yeah, end up fucking on fucking crack or some shit like that.
Yeah, nah, I don't know. I've had like, I found it worked for me 3 times, and I had good success. The only thing mentally, I wasn't there yet, so I was able to detox, and get good. But yeah, I just wasn't in a state of mind, so I relapsed, and so that's where I'm at now. I'm like, shit, I know I can get it good, and I'm fucking nowhere near wanting to, slipping back. So yeah, they're telling me about this injection thing, but I don't want that either. I want to take the strips if I do get onto it. And she was happy to do it, so just got to get down to something like 12 or something like that, maybe even. There we go. It's a huge thing, eh?
Yeah. You sure you're not on 150 mil, not 150 meg? No. Would it be 30 mil, 30 meg at 150 mil? That's what I use. That's what I've just come down off. Fucking in the last 18 months or something.
Yeah, 5 mil is a milligram, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's heavy. What did it go up to? Can they give you 200 or 70 or something?
Yeah, you can. You can go up to 200. You've just got to dose twice a day. They can't give it to you. They'll give the whole thing at once. They make you come in for the rest of it at the end of the day.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You come 2 days, twice a day, right?
Yeah.
You become a bloody such a regular at those chemists then, eh? Like, like, oh, how you going, mate? Coming in 2 times a day. Fuck that. This lady the other day, I come through, and she was, I don't know, she's cool enough, whatever. She's elderly, she's a pretty old lady. She's getting a dose that she's got like the bracelet on her ankle, and she's, those government bracelets, and she had to charge it up. And she's asked the pharmacist, well, can I charge it up? When you charge it and sit in, how long will it take? He's a cool guy. Like, he says, oh, it'll be only 10 minutes. He goes, oh, what happened? She goes, oh, I'll get arrested. and something like that. And the SSC's sitting there fucking charging off their thing in the carriage. He's a cool guy to let it do that though. Most places wouldn't even fucking let it do that. I don't know. You're going in there, oh, can I charge my thing up, man? I've got to sit, you know. Oh, it's just funny.
Yeah, I just realised I'm on 1/10 of my original dose. 30 meg down to 3 meg.
Wow.
Yeah.
This
Over 2 years.
original dose, you would have jumped up. You would have gone up to 150, right?
Yeah, you start on 40, yeah, because 40 is the minimum, like they can start, the maximum they can start you on, but you can jump up like 10 mil or 5 mil a day. 10 mil a day.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, 10 mil every, I think it's every
Midnight
second
Pharmacy.
day.
Sorry.
You're right.
Getting excited. That was like when I first got down to Adelaide. Like I came here pretty terrible, right? Like not terrible, but fucking I wasn't good. Yeah, I come down with half a ball and like 3/8 meg 6. First thing I did on the plane, I got here. I was lucky that fucking they had a midnight pharmacy. I get off at the 9 o'clock fucking thing. I won't forget. I still kind of have this memory of it. First thing I thought, where are the sharps at? I Google fucking chemist here. I went to the hospital first. There's the hospital in the city. They have a sharps machine out the front. You put $2 in.
Yep, and you get a fit back.
It
like
didn't
a
come
Coke
back.
machine. Oh, didn't it rip you off? Ouch.
Yeah, with me off. Or maybe that was another time. But then I went to Midnight Pharmacy and that was it. I used to dose there as well, actually. They eventually, a couple of years after fucking around, and I realised I should get on the program. Sorry, go on there.
I was just reading them, lining up out the front of the midnight one. I remember like just watching, like before I ever started on the program, going past the chemist like at some stupid time in the morning, just seeing everyone sitting out the front waiting for it to open 10 minutes before, and going, fuck that, I'm never doing that.
Kiwi's like, see you guys.
King.
Peace, brother.
Peace, bro. I made a thing of it, like not to go in before lunchtime. I'd always go in after lunch and try and be the last person in, like 20 minutes before the fucking chemist closed.
You bastard. That would be sad if your boss fucking thought bad of you, like you're on the program and shit. Like, come on, man. You work. If you were working for him well and you were doing a good job without him driving past, that's just stigma, bro. Like, it's even worse because you're kind of doing the right thing in the sense of this stigma. Oh, he's a fucking junkie. He's blah blah blah. Because you can get functional users out there, right? Yeah, and so you've gone that step. You fucking went to program and get a job, and then whatever, this cunt's gonna be like, fuck you, mate. What do you want me to do? Go back to fucking like, full time? Fucking real. Which is pretty much fucking weird. Why not? I don't get it. After 7 years of like trying to be like, all right, let's fucking live the way that you're kind of supposed to be told to. He's got me in a state of kind of such like what's the word, like introvert kind of. I don't know. I'm in kind of really good. It's like down, sad. I'm not as like the world's not as bright.
Remember, it's going to take 12 months for your brain to kick back in, fair.
Oh, I say what? 12 months for the chemicals to even out.
Yeah, if our chemical balances start to work fucking even back out. So we're like dopamine depriving ourselves going through this and stuff. Because we've got so many more receptors than we're able to fucking receive on now. They have to wait for some receptors
Oh,
to
wow.
die. It sucks.
I didn't know fucking. There's a few people in here who have a bit of experience with this sort of thing. Back in
I've
the
done it a few
90s, I
times.
guess.
Do you know what pissed me? I've
It's
done it
heavy
cold
duty,
turkey
like,
3
like all
times
of it.
and fucked up. Back on it.
True.
Yep. The worst time when you do though, like it's I don't know, it's some sort of like you can't get on for a couple of days or something like that. You end up sick. You're on the couch. You're stuck there once you're into it, right? And so you just go through it, and then you finally can get up, move again, and then on the toilet, or whatever, and then fucking you're feeling good, and some cunt knocks on the door and go, "Hey, yeah, oh, look what I got." And you're like, "Where were you 2 weeks ago, motherfucker? I don't need you now."
I wonder what it was like, say, say, 1820. Maybe not 18, 1850. Like, what was it like in like, Sydney, Melbourne, with this, people using this shit? What was the quality like? Where was it available? Where was it coming in? It was crazy.
Considering only 20 years before, it would have been still probably available in chemists and that as medicine, like. So realistically, it's probably within a generation still living. Like, whether the stigma or wonder how quickly they were able to change minds and stuff. Realistically,
2 generations. It only takes 1 or 2.
two.
It's tough.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but that's even another part. Like, thinking how the community had a little, well, not the community, but there was a little bit of a spit the other day. Like, thinking that how many people are, because obviously there's some, words which are complete nonsense and whichever way, whatever, ends this conversation. But there's people with actual so much experience and even continually active at the moment. Um, so many branches out of that. If they were to come and work, in the together, it'd be a powerful thing. And even the sense of trying to make something legitimate, like a little, if looking at those fees and shit like that to try and make a dispensary or something like this. That would be dope. And a possibility, like, yeah, I think it would be possible. Not easy, but definitely if the like-minded people got together and were really serious about it. It doesn't just happen either like that. And just drop it to your lap. It'll take fucking a year or 2 to get shit rolling and you gotta wait. But that would be awesome. And there's something realistically I would like to see.
For sure.
So at home we couldn't do shit, I mean, we just not couldn't do shit, we couldn't do shit in the sense of opening dispensaries if we were all singularly together going, all right, let's try and do this. Maybe a couple of people could, but in the sense of put together.
Yeah, pooling resources for sure.
Go to the bank and do that bullshit.
Yeah. There's lots of it'd be awesome just to see like avenues and stuff that it opens up when laws change for everybody. I hope it won't be too old for, like, some of us won't be too old to take advantage of it. I don't really want to make money from it anyway.
And you're right.
Um, I don't know, like, I think I'd just rather go down the breeding side of things and stuff, for that. It's good to dream.
Say again. You want to? You instead of opening up that, you want to make your own genetics there.
Yeah, and maybe just like supply them to one of you can supply them to fucking dispensaries at the flower when you go it out and stuff like. For sure.
I think even watching I don't know too much like exact about watching Burner and his kind of rise into the corporate thing. Like it's a million. I think one of them saying 60 million to get the license, the initial license, over there. So basically, so many people miss out. But with the genetic point, like saying cookies and that, I think he was saying that he didn't personally get into that sense of growing his identity and selling it. Rather, I think it's like he got different certain breeders that he'll go to, and then if it's good enough, he goes and makes the cookie brand.
Yeah.
Like, so obviously, like, would that be the? I guess it's just they've got this certain genetic, they can grow it out. If it works out good, he sells it.
Yeah.
And they work out fucking things between themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. People obviously, some people reckon he's fucking full of shit. Not full of shit, but that he's kind of not selling the market out, but I guess you'll always, either way.
Yeah. It's all about the hustle over there.
Yeah.
Well done, Benzos, I'm prescribed 4 fucking 5 mil valves a day. I don't take them every day. I probably take them once or twice a week. Take them every day. I get fucking, I don't know, they don't seem to work as effective.
You can have 4 5s a day. Is that what you said?
Yeah, 20 mil.
Wow. I was fucking getting hard to push, giving me fucking 2.
He fucking, every now and then he tries to fucking bring up the option of trying to come down off them. I'm like, yeah, we'll just stick to the one at the moment, mate. Let's not try and fucking put too much pressure on people.
But I'm not on it at the moment. I've been completely off those for a long time now, but I like the alazapram, bro, or whatever it's called, Prazolam. So, but I've asked them, and it's hard to just go, can I get the Xanax? I'll be like, fuck no, it's impossible. It's so addictive. So you got to try and put the symptoms forward, and then and even then they don't like giving it out. You got to find the right doctor. Because I'd like to just have them, as you said, like you don't take them every day. You take it when you can't. Yeah. Because I find myself personally, and even the doctor said that on the last. I went and had a mental health assessment last month, trying to get that process rolling. And she said, and I've only seen her for like a year. And she says that a lot. She's like, I don't really know you, like fucking, I haven't seen you, blah, blah, blah. But she said, that I see you up and down. Like she's asking me about how or something, like sometimes you come in here and fucking you're like really up, but then other times you're not. And really over it. Oh, that's right. So in those the down energy times, that's when probably cool. Hit a little bit of that. Take a devil. Before taking a devil, here's some cool ganja, but really, you want to be having those particular strains which you're going to be hitting the ailments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. It'd make it easier, that's for sure. I often wonder how different my moods are between fucking visits.
Say what? Wonder
how
what-
different my moods are between visits.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's just, somebody like, I'm not saying I'm bipolar and shit, but could be
I'm glad
something.
she takes notice. I'm glad she takes
Yeah.
notice of me. A
Yeah,
lot
that's
of them
true.
don't. Yeah, a lot of them don't.
So
They don't care.
anybody in the chat heard of wild lettuce? Yeah. Supposed to be like some sedative type thing. You can get the extract going.
Yeah.
Pain relief. Yeah.
We've got a conversation about the breeding over in a minute, huh? Cage green. What's oxazepam? Cloudscape. It's not alprazolam. That's not Xannies.
No, Cloudscape makes his own. He gets the oxy and like some has a band puts it together.
Alprazolam and oxy. Differences on it. Like Serapax. Or is it Serapax? I know what Serapax are. Had them. They're right to help with sleep. They're not too bad. Definitely better than Xanax. Xannies are bad.
No prickles on this thing. But you see the wild lettuce, you see similar things that look like it around a lot of the places. It says here in Australia there's 3 varieties. Wild lettuce found in all states. Territory prickly lettuce. Oh, so prickly lettuce is what? Lacutia cerealia, opium lettuce, and wait, so prickly lettuce, opium lettuce, and willow leaf lettuce. Maybe there's prickly lettuce. Yeah, I'd be seeing prickly lettuce everywhere. And everybody might be too, right? It's, fuck, I wouldn't mind just trying. Like, you've got to extract it and get it really potent. I'd have to find out. Here we go. South Australia, prickly lettuce. It's fucking everywhere, probably.
Have a good night. Yeah. Wonder if that's like what they would used to call warrigal greens as well. Whether that's a different vegetable salad like plant that Aboriginals used to grow on the top of their huts.
Okay. Okay. I thought that was more like just a lettuce, though, right? Warrigal greens. It's a leafy herb. Yeah, it looks different. It looks way different. Small leaves.
Yeah.
Well, even getting this stuff right, but you want to try and make your own wild lettuce resin extract. 1 to 100 extract strength. Only $15. Oh fuck, you're listening for 500.
I hope so, eh? Cloud State, me and my mates used to have to ban everyone on Xanax because they'd come over, either lose everything and try and steal everything of yours, lose everything of their own and steal everything, and then come back the next day and try and accuse you of stealing everything they had, or because they'd lose it before they ever got there.
Yeah.
They're terrible things, man.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of things would have fucking like that, though.
Yeah, they can't remember nothing, man. Yep. People, like other friends, would like get on them, and they'd come home and then wake up in the morning. They'd open their closets and they'd be full of fucking stolen shit, and they'd just like, "What the fuck did we do?" And I have to go around and ask everyone what they'd done. Mm. I think it's because they're so like losing everything, and they seriously do believe that you fucking. Because they can't remember having not lost everything at the time they even rock up, or when they rocked up to your house 2 minutes. They've been there 2 minutes, 2 days, and they pull their wallet out even though they've done it 10 times. They go, "Oh, my stuff's gone. You took it."
Stop running around the room with fear to do this.
Yeah, you got to follow them because they start going through shit and pocketing it. Just to go leaving in a big trail somewhere anyway, falling everywhere. For some other guns get. And fucking shocking.
I wonder how, like, the you know, the quick scene or the people using ice, like, is it still really heavy and, around the place and everywhere, Obviously, I'm not involved in the scene at all. I don't really see as much as I used to, I guess. Just like, maybe it's just because the way you walk and what you take notice of in the street, what's going on in your head too. Like, because in saying that I don't see you as much anymore. Maybe I was just looking out, even though I wasn't involving in it. But I still wasn't in there thinking about, that's what I'm just thinking. I was probably just walking around thinking. I was looking around and looking for that sort of shit.
Still in that frame of mind, even though you'd moved on from the behaviour a little bit.
Yeah.
So you're still able to see it, but then when you've been removed from it, yeah, I've noticed the same. I don't. Like, once upon a time, you couldn't go anywhere without seeing lots of people from the same circles and that. Like, you would just bump into people everywhere. Now, for some reason, I feel like really alone. I don't see anyone from that life either. Like,
yep. Because you don't see it or hear it on the news, and see that makes me even think it's another. How some things come up as controversy on the news, and it's like, oh, mad epidemic, mad thing. Or so, but they use all these things as tools to keep our attention and our fear levels, up in a certain way. Because shit, if it was such a fucking problem like they were talking about, why isn't it still kind of on the news, or have they got it under control?
Yep. I think they just, they've got it down pat with what works with the fear mongering, so they just keep dropping those things home every now and then, flashing with a new fucking. I'll repeat the same thing on that.
It's a cycle, eh? Like, good on. Go outside and fucking play GTA for real life.
Oh my god, that would have been messy as well. Avoid alcohol and Xanax. That would have been horrible. It would have been one messy, aggressive dude. Yeah, I've been there, Cloudscape, for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, true. Just thinking that, I guess it's just the detriment, I mean, the abuse, and when it gets to a point like you're unproductive and a detriment to your productivity, I guess, like, 'cause I'm thinking it's a cycle, right? Like, well, a lot of us, we kind of understand and see, oh shit, there, I guess then it was at the point of abuse because at the same time, there's young children or people coming up experiencing culture. When we were that age, we wanted to experience it. And I would still say, let it happen because when I was there, I would be like, you can't really talk on a topic unless you try, like, especially about the drug, unless you've tried it, then you can kind of have a little to say because of your experience. And
Yeah.
then, people look down on other people without even looking at it. But, because the children would want to be up and doing it, and I wouldn't tell you don't do it because we both did it. So for us to turn around like in our 30s, 40s to be like, oh fuck, nah, don't do this now. It's a bit like that. Doesn't make sense. So it's probably on the abuse side of it, right? Or where not abuse, but when it gets, exposed, when you're not in control of it, like, when you start
Often
doing
hard,
shit.
when people ever ask and that. I always tell people no, but like you're not. Yeah, you can't. You're not their parent or fucking guardian. So. Yeah.
And with intention
Okay.
too, I guess that's another thing. Intention environment, because that's right. Like you ain't do it for the hell of it, because that's how it fucking turns into.
Yeah, don't do it just to
Habit.
blur some. But that's how it does get carried away too, because like it's sort of
Mm.
nice to feel that warm fuzzy glow and blur them hours away in some bliss. You just get carried away with that. Everything's good to do.
Yeah, I suppose, man. It's
You're in a
easy to
better
say
mood.
when you're not there.
You
Too.
think you are. Like when you're in it, you think you're in a better mood and everything's bliss and better.
Yeah. Well, yeah, both ways too. I'm thinking like, it's easy to say do this, do that, like, because when you nobody really kind of, because you go up and down, it feels good, it's great, and it's good, but then the times when you're coming down, like, and other, there's other, I suppose it's different in each every person, but a lot of people probably think, fuck.
If it wasn't for those come down bits, you'd get carried away for sure, and and them bits certainly teach you. It hurts.
Because if you had to rewind, would you say, never take any of these things?
No,
I'd
I'd
probably
definitely
say
tell
no.
people, like, yeah, I wouldn't say people that they need to avoid it at all. Like, I would definitely caution having a little bit more control and not doing that 3-day in a row thing. If people and surely if it was, if people were able to do it functionally and consistently, I'm sure that would have been worked out already.
Say again. If what?
If
People had
people were able to be able to function and do it consistently well, I'm sure people would have worked that out, and we wouldn't have people that abuse it and get
But
lost.
they do that. That's what we're saying in
There are
Europe.
some people out there. Yeah, there are
Like
people
even
out there that do it, but it's definitely not the norm.
oh, okay, right. Yeah, most people probably get carried away with that substance. Yeah, and they start fucking not doing their work and shit like that.
Yeah, one ends up in a spiral. You don't see many that are able to keep it at a level where they're still productive instead of counterproductive.
Because it really intrigues me how they look. You see things about Switzerland, and other places in Europe. Fuck, a lot of the top professionals, not a lot, but there are some top, all sorts too, actually, all walks of life. You've got people unemployed, you've got labourers and hospitality, and then doctors and lawyers and stuff. They yeah, as you said, twice a day for some of them go and get IV.
Didn't you go to bed, Amos?
What? Did he say he was going for through?
Yeah. Amos, I'm sure we said goodnight earlier. Yeah, his pre-works, it's keeping him awake. Good. They'll teach you to get that stuff, eh? I've been trying to
What's
cut how
that?
many
Like
coffees.
creatine or something? Or
Oh, it's probably more like caffeine,
yeah.
nicotine, guarana, things like that. They can get your blood pressure going.
But do you find those energy V's and those mothers they work? They give you a bit of a Red Bull? I don't find they give me a buzz at all.
They
I
don't
think
give me it when I
because I'm
want it.
fucking just other shit.
Yeah, I don't. They seem to hit me hours after I've had them, and when I didn't need that boost anymore, the boost never hit. Like if you have it before a drive or like over a long drive, like you're drinking one, you think, yeah, it'll give you like kick in pretty quick, like within 10, 20 minutes or something like that, but it never does. Right, they always end up
Correct.
keeping me awake, even if I have them like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah,
Yeah.
keeps me awake all night. And pre-workouts used to do the same thing to me. They never help for the workout.
Coffee too, yeah. Well, I reckon, I get you strong. I've got to have a fairly strong coffee to feel that kind of bit of a boost on it. But it's even kind of a spike too, eh? It's kind of an up and down. If you have a really strong coffee, if you're tired, if you're very tired, you want to kind of wake up 6 in the morning, you haven't had a good sleep, you spike, and then in a couple of hours you're back down to that tired, really messy state to get it again. I find it a joke.
I'm trying to cut down on my coffee intake of an afternoon time.
So that
I've got
again,
a few.
what did you say, bro?
I've had to cut down on my coffee intake lately.
Oh, you used to like every morning having a coffee?
Yeah, I still do. Like, up until lunchtime, I'll try and just have as many coffees as normal, but I don't have them all. I don't take one to bed with me anymore.
Is that a kind of army thing? Or like, I mean,
Yeah,
someone, yeah? Or have a tea,
yeah.
actually, or a coffee, yeah.
Well, yeah, it'll be tea or coffee, and it's just constant all the time. Like, whatever you drink,
Oh,
you
really?
just,
Yeah, right.
yeah, yep. If you've got a spare minute, you're having it. So, like, and you make one. Every time you stop when you're walking, it's the first thing you get to do. Like, you know,
Right.
yeah.
It's a bit of pleasure that you can have, I guess,
Yeah,
yeah.
yep. And then when you get like a little bit more free time on your own, like it seems to become some little thing where you like get to abuse it, like as much as you can, or you can. So sleep is sort of looked at the same thing. Like there's a saying in that, right? Why stand when you can sit? Or not? Why walk when you can stand? Why stand when you can sit? And why sit when you can lay? And why lay when you can sleep? You always take that next advantage to sleep or sit or lay, like go to the stream because you never know when you get to again.
True. Cigarettes, was that popular?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep. Even non-smokers would smoke out bush.
Ooh. Pink Kush,
So,
I think that's 80% too. What will the Pink Kush kind is anyway? I haven't tried the colour. So I think fucking Candy was like can be the most tasty. To it right.
I'm gonna do
I
that.
think maybe Ozzy also did that too, though, right?
I've
I
not had any bells for over a week. I think
haven't had any weed.
I haven't had any bells for over a week because the last couple of weeks I did have a bit more than like I think I was taking them every second night because fucking just the stress from everything. And so, like, I knew I had to take like a week off. But I think I'm going to have some tonight.
How many years have you been doing that? Been prescribing?
Bells?
Yeah.
For 17 years now.
Whoa. You no kind of break, just straight, and then sometimes not every day.
In the beginning, I sort of just abused them.
Mm-hmm.
I would
But
just,
you never took like a, they never, yeah, fuck, that's a long time, eh?
yeah,
Sure, good.
I would just try and take the whole packet within fucking 24 hours and then just burn the next couple of days away or something like that. And doctors back then, they'd just give you more. Like, it was weird.
Yeah.
Being a vet and PTSD, they'd just give you more. And then, like, for ages, they just did that. And then just like, oh, we won't give you any more.
Would you say like you lost it, or you just took them?
Yeah, no, I think I lost it. And because I end up being hospitalised fucking probably at the same time every year.
No. I'm sorry. Would you say to the doctor, fucking?
Oh, no.
I
I'd just say I took them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd just say I took them.
And then they still go, all right, here's some more, mate.
Yeah. Yep. They just try and go a little bit easy on the next lot. Like, you can't do that.
7 years. Whoa.
$50 years, I don't know.
Oh, okay. I thought you had a seizure from taking too many now.
He needs them to calm the seizures and stuff. The chemist gave me another 75 valves. The chemist gave me another 75 valves today, and I've still got, like, I don't know. I think I've got some. So,
What, the 20 in a box, isn't it?
50 in a box.
Oh.
And I think
I'll probably got the smaller ones. Oh, no, wait. They can put a sheet. Yeah, I used to get this, right? Because my thing was smaller. They break open the thing and give me sheets every couple of days.
Yep.
Once a week. Yeah.
And my chemist just he's meant to give me enough for the week, 4 a day a week. He just gives me the box and then holds on like that because I 200 and I think it's 225 per script. I get a repeat. He gives me 50 at a time, and then the last 75. But he offered them last week. I didn't take them because I knew I still had 50 of them left. So I've got like 125 of the fucking things next to me. Nice. They do. Hey, going up.
What about coming off that, though? Have you ever experienced it, like, withdrawals from strength?
No, not from valves.
That's what because
I don't know. Just anyway, probably. I don't know. No, because maybe I don't know. No, because I don't. I stopped taking them just on because I wanted to. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't feel any withdrawals then or anything like that. I don't think I feel withdrawals from the valves.
Yeah.
Lyric is a different thing. And that's why I don't take that crap. I was shitty when I found out the doctor had lied about that stuff.
How do you mean?
Well, he told me that it repairs your nerves, not kill your nerve, so it doesn't fire to your brain anymore. And also that they weren't addictive. Two lies, both lies, yeah.
You don't see that cut now, do you?
No, I want a fucking pain specialist dick.
Wow. That's terrible, man, because you telling that to everybody.
Yep.
That sort of shit should be the stuff which is scrutinized and treated as criminal, and you go to prison. Not fucking some dude holding a bag of flour or some ganja somewhere. But the whole society's fucking. At least if the guy with the ganja is fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, make it fair, because not make it fair, but you can't look up or down at everybody else in society, but he's getting kickbacks from some company or something like that, and then every patient of his is fucking their life up.
and they bought that lyric crap out and flogged it onto everyone because of fucking opiate epidemic that all started with fucking oxys and shit like that. And because they had to try and fucking rein all that in, they started flogging Lyrica out and lying to everyone and trying to pull back everyone's opiates and fucking give them that instead. I wonder how much people are going to suffer from Alzheimer's in the future because of this shit. Parkinson's.
What
and
Lyrica is a
Alzheimer's.
synthetic opiate, like tramadol.
No, it's not an opiate at all. I think it's some fucking other thing that works on your nervous system and attacks your nervous system the way it works and fires
Okay.
and receives messages. So it fucking tampers with the way the brain and body receives and sends messages with itself. So it can't receive, your brain can't receive the pain messages from somewhere in your body by killing that nerve and deadening it off. So, like, if it's killing nerves and they don't really know where it is, like, and where it's killing, like, they just hope that it targets the ones that are damaged. They don't probably have the studies to prove. Oh, yeah, I just question it.
Well, and what the effect? You turn into like a zombie. Not a zombie, but you can't feel pain.
Yeah, yep.
What's
Yeah, it definitely makes the day better. It definitely makes the day better, but I can't explain how. Because there's no real overriding effect other than if you maybe have a bong and stuff after you've had a few. If you have a few of the things, they do make you feel like you're drunk. Right? You'll start walking into doorways as you're going through them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You ever see still knocks? I remember that. I never saw that, but I saw a hypno in the 40s, but I was back in the 90s. I saw a lot of that shit, but I see that thing on a current affair. They're talking about people stabbed themselves. They take their hypno and then they're not dog. And then do some weak shit that they don't remember. You know, break up with a knife and they cut.
Yeah.
Some sort of thing like
that. Yeah.
He's like, it's sick. Yeah, I don't even know what it is. It's taken off the market now, I guess. Okay.
Yep.
So
that's perfect. Yeah. That'd be a crazy drive. Imagine getting them to another state and not knowing it. There's a little bit of New South Wales I don't remember.
That's fucking bonus, man. And then, so with that thing there, obviously, like that's, you'd be like running a plasma TV the whole time, pretty much when it comes out to energy, or would be running like, you know, or just running an appliance. It's not too evident, obviously, because fuck, man, that's dope enough, isn't it? So you get the rotation set, we're going right, but oh, and then you need to order, right? Okay, yeah.
Plant and auto is 2 weeks apart. Or 4 weeks apart.
What?
Oh no, yeah, all 4 2 weeks apart. If you do, you stagger all 4 of them by 2 weeks. So it would end up being 8 weeks between the first and the fourth one.
And then every quarter, is that dedicated strictly to that, or including your whole, like, the rest of the shit? That's fuck all, right? That's nothing. Not nothing, but that's pretty reasonable.
Sort of need 2 tents then, though. Ganja man.
What does your usual household electric bill come to?
Mine.
Yeah.
The tent and that's bugger all on it. I can't really think about it. Like, I couldn't say exactly what it is, but I know how much it produces and how much the family use compared to it, and it's nothing.
Okay. Because I've seen a few people where everybody gets it, I guess, like winter time, they'll turn on, I suppose, and summertime gets really hot, they turn on the air conditioning. Winter time gets cold, turn it on, and there's a major spike in the bill for some people. It's like double nearly. So
You should be careful what times you're running it too, like, so, because if you've got solar to cover your thing during the day, you can run it during the day, like in hours, and you don't add it because you're just powering yourself. Once the sun goes down, if you've got a battery, you can draw off that, or if you're still connected to the grid, draw off that. But then you can choose fucking peak hour and off peak hour times to run your things. If you're just on the grid, you'd probably want to look at doing things off peak. Try and do that ganja. If I can do the perpetual go thing, that's what I'm doing. It's fucking hard and it's heaps of work. It's a job. People think we just sit around stoned all day and do nothing. Working in gardens all day.
it's good to tell you that.
Yeah, well, like working in the garden all day to produce that isn't like it's not doing anything, though. Like, you actually work pretty hard and just doing your tents and keeping everything that.
Yeah, like digging and like taking, moving things around.
Yep.
It's a bit of, It's been a friend of mine actually, though. Ages ago. Grow crops and things, big ones. He's like in the forest and stuff. Like, he's like, "Fucker, you couldn't do it, bro. You gotta go to the mountain and take 100 kilos up and down the mountain and do that 4 or 5 hours."
Yeah.
That's all big time, though. 100,000 things. I was going to think before, like with a couple of the breeds that I've run out. I've noticed some of them. It's just I've heard that it's just a genetic trait or whatever. Some of them they just grow very small. Like after they just don't boost. So it'll be one tiny nugget or flower after months, but it's only 10, 20 centimeters tall. Well, I was wondering, like AAD or anybody uses the orders and stuff, do you find that kind of will be an occurrence too with the auto beams? They're pretty like ununiform and random in the sense that some might be fucking not too great, but then others will be on. Do you find that too, Mike, with the photos? There'll be some just you put them up and they just go small.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, photos and that, like, if they're in intent, you can keep them going as long as they want. So, outside.
Oh, okay. I'm doing the outside, yeah.
Outside, like, yeah. Outside, like, you're driven by the weather gods, so. It was good weather, they drive. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I don't know, like, depends. If they're, like, I don't know, indica strong and stuff, they'll stay smaller than sativa dominant anyway.
But I'm talking because as I said, as you guys, I didn't put you've been paying attention for the last couple of years, not fully, but last year, similar thing. One got taller than me. Other ones were basically mid-height, right? So taller than me, was only like nearly 6 foot sort of thing. And other ones maybe 3, 4 foot. But then there was ones which just were 10 centimeters. Like, and then also kind of similarly this one, there's ones which are now only 10, 20 centimeters, whereas others are 3, 4 foot.
Are the nodal spaces sort of still the same between that 3 foot? Like, is the 3 foot one spacing more between its nodal than the 20 centimeter one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd probably say yeah. Because I think last year there was one which was like, it was tiny, but you could see, it probably didn't have 5 or 6 different nodes, but, or maybe it had 5, but they were all just so close together. But it grew out. It was so funny. Like, it was just, it had the pistils come out after the 8 weeks, and then it stacked a little bit and fattened up. But it was just one kind of tiny butt. Anyway,
And were they all planted at the same time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. They're all just in the yard together.
Yeah, I dare say Ganja Man's probably right with more like that. That's just the genetics and phenotypes, especially if they weren't all standard seeds. But if they were all standard, like an inbred line, like stabilised line, therefore they should have no genetic fucking differentiation. As the F1s are going to have with them.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, it's going to depend on where they're crossed at, and how stabilised they are then. Like, if they're only F1s, there's going to be a lot of genetic difference between them. Yeah.
Because at the moment, even, there's like, same time, all over, there's been a bit of space out, but I don't know which is which then. And some would like boosted huge, and others have been small, but then now they're catching up and they're sort of boosting later.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, I can hope so again. Just hope for great harvest, man.
Yeah, I like the difference between them and all. What then makes it what's fun.
Yes. Yeah. The variety. Yeah.
I've noticed mine are all roughly around the same height though, but I've noticed lots, like there's some that maybe only have 3 nodes and there's other that have 6 nodes in the same height space.
Okay. Yeah. Do you think and they're all showing sex? Like they're all female?
No sex now. Yeah, no sex yet.
What about red stems or like pinky purple, like reddish stems?
Purple.
I guess.
Reddish stems, some say it's just starting to see like signs of lockout and stuff like that. But purple stems, I've heard that it's genetic and signs of good genetics. But I dare say you could probably find somewhere in the cannabis world where red stems would probably mean the same thing.
Genetic.
Yeah.
And lockout meaning it's not trying to take in the nutrients and water.
Yeah, it's got a fucking issue. Yeah, it can't pick up the nutrients anymore because you've got.
As well, it's not picking it up at all. It's not as nicely as it should.
No, usually they won't be picking it up at all anymore. And that once you get the lockout.
Will die, right?
They just not die. They just they just stunt and don't move anymore, sort of thing. They just stay where they're at. And just so horrible fucking effects on the leaves and stuff. You'll get some signs like fucking gold leaf, or hook leaf, claw leaf. They call it something.
Well, that's all right. That's good, huh? But what about, and that's another thing, second-hand equipment. Like, you think it's, I guess it's depending on the condition you get it in, but is it worthwhile buying brand new? Or, because if something gets used, it gets stained with that particular thing. Boy, Jim, what's up, bud? You kicking it? We've gone for a while, eh? 2 hours.
Jim?
Thanks
Yeah, always buying new.
Go new, eh? Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to keep it clean.
Hey?
I've seen one couple videos and they're doing tents, and when they do their new next one, they wipe the wall with isopropyl. But I want to keep everything as clean as possible.
Yeah, you should try and clean down between grows. Clean your tents down and that between grows. It stops any fucking powder mildew problems or anything like that coming and build up.
Second hand at the shop. Fuck. You can go to the hydro shop and there's second hand section. Shit, that's good. Like, take them back. Someone's used this before, but they were like, they're not using it anymore because they're on a holiday. Fuck.
Second-hand tent, yeah, would be all right, for sure. But the rest of it, you want new. Filter's all right, I suppose. If long as they did only one grow or something, you could get that fair and a fan for the filter.
Wow. Did the guy tell you at the shop, or it's like, that's great. I don't know. I suppose I've been to a couple of the hydro shops around. There's a few just on the road down in there. We've been inside there a couple of times initially to find out about it. And then I went to go buy a trim bin. And the guy was like, nah, if I can waste the money, mate, don't worry about it. Went to the other place, they didn't have it. I ended up trying to make my own kind of thing. I just got this like a big ass sieve and then a tray, chocolate. So it's not like a trim bin, but it kind of worked.
A big shaker table with fucking sieves would be good. Wonder if you could pull apart a gold machine shaking table. Put some screens on top of it with buckets underneath. Get it jumping and shaking.
What would be you had much experience with the audit and what? Like, something in fuck, man, the fact that you can, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, you got new flowers instead of fucking 4 months.
Yeah, I'm about to have my second experience with it. About the first go I didn't buy, someone else bought and just stuck in my tent.
So what did the flower turn out like? Did you get to see it? I mean,
Finished. Yeah. It's just that he didn't come and look after his plant the whole time and expected me to do it. I didn't do it for him.
Oh, yeah.
So probably could have been better. But
it was still, okay, so you're noticeably different, yeah.
Yeah, it was 3 foot tall and probably got about 2 ounces off it. But the bud could have been so much better than it was. Like you could tell that it had been starved.
Oh, yeah. That's probably where I'm thinking, like the fact that it yields quite a bit less, that's not too bad. Like, just put a few more out there, I guess, if you can. But you want to be concentrating on the fact that it's the same quality flower with the density and the terpenes. And if it is, fuck, man. I think, but I guess buying autos, the beans, like if you get a plant, an auto plant, and somehow you got seeds or you pollinated, does that mean all those beans are going to be auto?
With a photo or crossing with an
No, with an
order?
order. No, not wool.
With,
Oh,
with
okay,
an order,
true. Yeah.
if it's first, like apparently I've only just seen this by following a couple of guys on Insta that bred and were part of Potscotch group on Facebook and that fuck around with autos, crossing them with photos and trying to create autos, like new autos from photos. Apparently the first cross they come out 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go from there. So I suppose it just
And
like as
keep breaking down
back
there. Right.
yeah, and then you back it with another auto to make it more, the percentages go up higher.
Okay.
So I suppose an auto with an auto, as long as it's not, they're both not F1s from photo crosses, they should be on it. They should be.
Makes because it's
But
I don't know,
experienced with it myself.
4 or 5 months instead of 2 months.
Yeah, definitely the quicker flower time. Especially if you can start getting sort of reasonable yields, like somewhere near what you'd expect off a photo. Period. They're definitely worth going into. That's why I would like to, you just got to get source your genetics from good places like Mephisto, apparently are really good.
Oh, right. Do they do mostly orders or a bit of both?
Yeah, I think that's all they do is all those Mephisto.
Yeah. But they're fucking like mad well renowned, eh? Holy shit.
Super autos. Super autos, aren't they like, they're just I think they're just a photo cross auto, aren't they? And they just go like somewhere in between the two. Hooligan
Really?
Farms, Class I'll have a look at them. Just name type here. I have to look them up. I don't understand it.
What's 84 at the door? Oh, 84 days out the door, is it? Yeah, wow. Fuck yeah, see? Exactly. Because just like the fact that you gotta be wary so much, you gotta worry so much, you're running the risk so much. Fuck. You wanna, same, so I guess that's the same, same thing that the people that I kind of whinge about mass production. And one day just let it kick for another couple of days and get a good blossom or a good bloom. I'm gonna go and fuck. I prefer to get things done in 80 days rather than 100 and something.
Yeah, for sure. And like it does save you having to do a few tanks in a row, like it's the only way you can cut down that growing. And you're not really cutting it down because you're still doing a veg and a cloning stage. You're just getting to do that time while you're waiting for flower, your harvest. So once you get into a perpetual grow, like you have one flowering, one vegging, and one cloning, and you're just rotating. But it'd be so much easier with just autos. Going from seed to harvest in 84 days.
Because what are the medical doing the cure at? It's like 4 weeks. No. Do 4 week cures?
No light change. That's what I'm looking forward to. No light change. Doing that.
Oh,
Not have to worry about that. You can just run the
you
light the
just
whole
draw
time.
it towards God.
Yeah, even though the light's a longer time, like for the whole time, I suppose. It's
Oh,
not as
you
long.
run 18 the whole time.
No, you
No,
can
12.
run 20 and 4, 24.
Well, well, that's right. So what about, do you know that they mentioned the curing time on,
Not so
like,
sure about that.
well, not on the
Sorry.
medical, but just say like the recommended time to cure. A few weeks. Longer the better. But,
I think 6 weeks is the recommended shortest time, isn't it?
um, 6 weeks in the jar burping. It's important. It's very important. Rather than that, even stuff from coals, but fruit and vegetables, if they actually cured them, how much brighter the terpenes might be. Oranges and bananas and stuff.
Yeah.
Probably
I
be a
suppose if you
possibility.
cut the ethylene away from them so they didn't ripen anymore, you'd probably be able to do that at some point.
Oh, what's that?
Good night, Anna. Have a good night. Thank you. Mephisto, 42 Fast Buds, Night Owl. For autogenetics fair. They seem to be the three. Age every day. Wait a minute. Peat moss versus cocoa. I prefer cocoa.
His name is Jay, not Jeffrey.
Oh, I said every day.
Oh no, it's Jay, not
I
Jeffrey.
don't know. Day every day.
Good joke. Brother. Everybody calls it Jeffrey. But Jeffrey, but it could be Jeffrey. Good old Jeffrey Day. That's a joke. Man, everybody, that's cool, bro. Appreciate you guys rolling in fucking like late. Not late, but yeah, it's like kind of late time. Kicking off for a couple of hours. Just talking, me and Matt. Me and Monty's Matt. Me and Monty just talking.
About that, Aussie, like, because the dude who's crossing with the photos, he gets like, that's how he picks what ones he's going to pick out of the babies when he crosses with the seeds. The ones that start showing flowering signs early, they're the ones he keeps. So there's definitely within the F1, there's definitely differences within like flowering times. He posts all his stuff to Facebook. There's his own Facebook group on there. Facebook fucking account that fucking I follow.
And my order birth from Canada, right?
No, I don't know about Canada. I think just northern latitudes is where they first found them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, wherever like fucking there's no seasons really. It just goes from like pretty much dark for like 9 months of the year, and then you only have 3 months of the year where the sun's up.
Well, they're found in the wild. I thought these people made the genetics like that after just breeding in house.
No, I think it comes from ruderalis, doesn't it? The trait
gets
comes from
from
ruderalis.
okay. Okay.
There's an old guy who wrote the book like on rurals and stuff like that, pretty much from Alaska. He helped with Alaska getting their laws changed so they could have cannabis in their yards and stuff like that. Law enforcement couldn't make their way onto the yards to search. And it was some weird thing through the 70s, 80s. He wrote a book on autos and stuff like that. He goes around a lot of our cannabis shows in America and Canada, selling a book on fucking them and how they're going to be the future and stuff like that.
Okay.
It'd be interesting to see like the ratios in there as he goes around, like in his book and stuff. I don't know his fuck. I can't think of his name off the top of his head. He's a little skinny old guy with glasses, balding, grey. That's what I thought. Landscape. I thought fucking Romania and stuff like that was where they started finding them. Romania, the Balkans, something like that, in those areas. Caucasus, maybe, even. Caucasus of
Yeah,
Russia.
man info. Thank you.
Good night, Joe.
I wonder about maybe in the higher altitudes of the Himalayas.
Maybe, man. It'd be definitely interesting. Definitely is guns around. Like, I only just kept up with it because I know, like, how this old guy was talking about them being the future and that, and like realistically, shorter times, like they will be. So it was just really waiting for them to stabilize the genetics because it was really hit and miss at the start when I first got one. No, I didn't get it very good. Yeah. Russia, Caucasus as well. That's what I think because I've seen fucking a picture of Neville on the side of the road. Well, it's Romania. He's on the side of Romania. On the side of Romania with the ruderalis. And there's some fucking Romanian tank or fucking armoured personnel vehicle. Fucking there's military driving in the background going past him. And just have the balls. Just have the balls to go travelling Soviet countries back then during the Cold War. And the dude fucking had some balls.
Oh, well, I suppose this is, yeah. So that it happens.
Jake, have a good one. Pics on the Russian border. All right, but still, it's Romania. Russia's not Europe. Romania is. ABC is good for cold, Hardy.
ABC's fucking mud though.
Yeah, there's a guy in America I'm following at the moment. He's got a tent full of ABC. Some of the bud look quite frosty. I'm wondering whether they get that multi-leaf coral, what they call freak show cross coral, which is a multi-leaf. Cross multi-leaf coral. It's just strain they call the cross between the two. I'm wondering how they created the multi-leaf thing because it looks like a little bit like an ABC flat leaf. ABC is definitely multi-leaf, like it's piled on top of each other. And Freak Show has that fern fucking thing, and then like when they cross them, it has a multi-leaf of fern. It's called coral. There's a couple of seed banks that sell them.
Where are you at?
ABC.
No, where's he at? Because fucking There's a few around here. So
Yep.
probably get you some.
No. Have you seen that coral ganja man? Anybody crossing Freak Show and fucking multi-leaf? I follow one guy. I'm not sure whether he's Ukrainian. He's got a little Ukrainian flag in his fucking thing. I'd just be an American dude or Canadian dude with Ukrainian heritage. And because of the war, he's put his little thumbnail different. Because it's not a Ukrainian name, that's for sure. It's English. Yeah, I've heard that about it, and a few people that tried fucking crossing with it and making it stronger in THC gave up with the duck's foot. But there's still people using it out there too, though. I've seen lately. I think people are enjoying getting into freaks and stuff like that, finding little red, weird stuff. Because the buds on Freak Show don't look that great. They look really red and hairy. Yeah. So I'd like to know whether ABC is considered a multi-leaf cannabis strain or not, because the way its leaf is fucking structured.
What about those beans that come out all multicolour? You seen that?
Beans multicolour.
Yeah, I seen that on one of the Strain Hunters episodes. They're in India, and the girl's like, "Oh, it's something," and they said it's something. I think they did it for like one plant, and they've literally got seeds which are yellow, purple, green, all sorts of wild colours, but really deep, brilliant colours.
Yeah.
Seen it? Yeah, it's
No,
in the
I've
Strain
never
Hunter
seen it.
episode.
I'm going to have to look at that one. I thought I
Which
watched the
one,
whole
yeah.
Indian one. Must have not paid attention during that bit. Oh, that would have been beautiful. And I dare say it probably was it. Class, yeah.
Do.
Wonder whether fucking CIA allowed Neville to travel through those areas as long as you've taken those pics. It's amazing that he managed to just nibble that pic while there's military crossing in the back of him, Guzzy Gunja man. Yeah. I've got a cover, I'm just a stoner. Yeah. Makes me think now whether that actually was the case. So many former drug fucking mules and stuff like that have been used by fucking country spy agencies because of that. He could have waited 10 minutes until that military convoy went past and then got the dude to take the picture. But they snapped it just as that convoy was going through there. Makes me think that was a risky and ballsy move, because them guns could have pulled over, arrested him, took everything, locked him up for spying. Then he took a picture of the military vehicle in the background on past. You don't take those risks for no reason in Soviet countries. I wouldn't have, unless like I was offered to have my 20 years. You're not dobbing anyone in, you're just going taking pictures of fucking your country's enemy, really. So I'd probably take that choice. Just the country's supposed enemy, nothing to do with you, but and then a 20-year prison sentence for drug smuggling. Take some pics of military equipment.
Yeah, man, these are the original color seeds, man. Look at this. Incredible.
This green one.
Yeah.
This one, eh?
No. Green.
Green.
Yes.
Yeah, church.
Yeah, green.
Church
This side.
is the strain.
Yellow. This one here. Lemon haze. What do you think about all the females?
I remember watching this too.
Wow.
The first one's in India.
Covered
Look
in
the
rice,
resin, eh?
man. Yeah, man, these are the original.
That's their seeds. Do you know how they were color coding their
Coloration,
fem
eh?
seeds
Man.
there?
Yeah.
Say again?
That Greenhouse Seed Company were putting that color on their seeds when they were selling them as fems. So that's their own genetics. They got some dude in India growing.
Mm.
Yeah. They were putting them
To what?
spraying
To make sure that
some,
it's theirs. Is that like
yeah.
a branding? Yeah.
Yep, that was their band. Their fucking little thing. Head. Franco even does a whole video on their thing about spraying the seeds, that color in there. He's got all the dyes made up and stuff.
Why? And then it naturally comes through in the plant.
Man, you're on it. Please don't make us watch. Yeah, just fast forward Arjun out of the bits. It's okay to see Franco.
Yeah, no, I don't know. So I'm just talking about the colored beans.
Yeah. And Cloudscape says it too. Yeah, just color coded. Yeah, and color coded with a dye. They did that fucking, so you knew what strain you were getting. And that they were definitely fems, and from them, because they were the only ones doing it.
But then it grows through, like, well, the pigmentation goes through the. Well, I'll watch the other video, I guess. Because I thought it was the one plant giving off all different colored beans. But it's a different strain. Okay, right.
Yeah, he's holding the beans. He's holding the beans and saying which one he's planted where, and so they can tell. Oh, yeah, that's the church. That's that one. Yeah, that's that one. Yeah, so they can tell what he planted where, or he can tell them where he's planted what, and he knows. Like they probably know which strains which by what color they paint. Franco will for sure, since he did it, and so. They'll be going, oh, yep, you planted that one there, that one there. The yellow must be the haze. He said that, didn't he? And the blue was the fucking church. He did say that before.
Yeah.
So now I know, yeah. So the old guy was just holding out what the old guy's come down showing him, yeah, look, I've got your beans. Like, see, I've grown your stuff. And, oh, yeah, so. Yep, that's that one. That's that one. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, that guy, that's crazy, eh? But obviously those guys will have too, you know, how it's very in depth. It's been handed down for generations, right? But in the way of documented science and break like the way that, these categories are broken down now, they can't, they're not able to do that. But I guess if they see it, they'll recognize it straight away because it's exactly what they're doing. But they have so much fucking knowledge, dude. Like, too. As anybody's done who's been planning for years and years and years. But, the guy's like, you know, in his 60s, maybe something more.
Yep.
Probably been planning since he was fucking 10. He grew
Probably
up
been,
with
he's definitely been working in those fields since he was 10.
Yeah.
And since he was 6. Yeah. I didn't know. Do you reckon they did that? Do you reckon they only sold it? All right. It was, Ganja Man's elaborating on it. It was for the mixed packs at first glance, so they could offer mixes in one pack and you would know which strain was which. Yeah. Yeah, that's what, I do remember that sort of being said in fucking the video Franco does explaining the dye process and all that. Camo.
So there's never been, it's always kind of been a really, even now, I guess it is, we talked about it the other, spoke about it the other day, getting beans anywhere within Australia is a completely kind of taboo thing, right? Even within ACT where you can grow and have good plants, but you can't buy beans anywhere.
Yep. It's definitely a fucking stupid fucking thing, isn't it? Can't source beans from anywhere legally, so how can you grow? It's a bit of a catch-22, isn't it? Like, because what if they want to do you for, like, how did you acquire the beans to grow your 2 legal plants?
Yeah. You
How
had to
long's
cut
the
part of
statute of limitation? Yeah. It's madness, really. Wonder if there's a statute of limitation for acquiring seeds before that, like, how long they have to charge you for it. It runs out within the grow season.
It wouldn't do that. It'd be years, You'd have to hold them for years.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be a couple of years at least. Wonder if you can get them fucking, like, wonder if fucking, like, now we have to find out when the law, when a law year ends, whether it's at the financial year or the actual calendar year end. Because maybe if it was only 1 year, like, then that probably goes by months or something, maybe technical. Imagine if you could get them on a loophole by starting, like, acquiring your seeds in October, if they didn't catch you until the end of the grow season, which is the following year, April, whether you could get off on the statute of limitation if it was only 12 months.
That's when photos come in handy.
We'd have to find out when a law year ends, whether it's on the calendar year or financial year, or whether it's just on the 12 months up from date to date. And they don't care about whether the year changed in date or not.
Oh, it's the midnight.
Probably does work. Yeah. Probably does work like that, though, from the date, 12 months or whatever years.
So with the moon, when it's full, that means most of the moisture is in the roots or is in the plant.
I think because of its effect, it drags it up to the top of the plant. And like it drags the tide around the globe, I'm pretty sure it pulls the moisture and the sugars to the top of the plant.
Oh,
Sounds good. I'm glad I'm not getting that.
I wonder what that is, eh? Who talks about it too? It's like, he's with his nose running, he goes, oh, it's good, but because of THC reaction or something. I don't know.
I don't get that. It doesn't matter what kind of bud. I don't think it, yeah.
I kind
No.
of noticed it a couple times, maybe here or there, but not every time. Cheers, everybody hanging around, man. Appreciate it. I've noticed a few people kicked out, which is cool. It's late, man. Probably won't hang around heaps much longer, but I'm pretty chill at the moment. It's getting there, man. You been thinking about any content yourself, bro? Uploading anything?
Me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was talking, we were talking a lot, I don't know, when we were talking PTP the other day. Not sure. I think maybe, I think we're about to the same. I don't think I'm at the stage where I'm going to start uploading. It's start worthwhile now. Over the next few weeks, you see lots of change. Well, especially if the weather stays the way it is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it has been very sunshiny day. Although I heard Brisbane had like going into, I saw it on the weather report. Just like past weekend, I think, where it was all sunny down New South Wales, Victoria, or sunny down in Victoria. Actually, it was raining. But, yeah. I just wanna know how great to last me to year. After by the neck. Just want enough to last me to few years. I'll cure it up nicely. A few pounds. That's it. Nothing too flash. Just fucking 9, 10 flowers, you know? Full of TERPS. Ding, 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 ding. Crystal clean. Oh, I did some, what do you say? Flavors are very nice, just crystal clean. Yeah, okay. Really potent with whatever that reacting and, chemical is over there. Whatever. I was going to say that we're the same for like, the crypto chronic I've been getting. They say the said it's like its sister plan or something just called White Queen. It wasn't, to me, it wasn't as preferable in the sense of like just that sweet gassiness. It was really, really enjoyable in the crypto. That was really nice, and the Black Domino too, very similar to this one. He said that there was more of a yielder or something. It's supposed to be related. It had the Helitrix, it was really frosty, light green. It just, and it was very strong actually. You know, like, and it wasn't. Maybe they didn't cure it as nice or something, but it was there. But I guess that it wasn't as sweet. And, excuse me, but the strength was definitely there. But if you have a few billies, you're like, well,
Yeah, nice. Black sugar, actually, I remember, fucking had a real mentholy terp profile. It actually gave me a runny nose each bowl.
Black sugar.
Yep.
You heard of the Red Devil? Did you ever try that one?
Red Devil?
Yeah.
I've heard of it. Yes, I don't know. I probably have had it. And then there's also another one called G13 or something that's a fucking derivative of it.
Oh,
Yeah, which is what you see a lot of nowadays when you see that red hairy stuff coming out of fucking a lot of the grows.
oh dear. Send it to plate.
Oh dear. Gone on that.
Or do you leave and get? I don't know. Thanks, mate. Either way, good to see you.
I think you just
What was
popped
that?
in.
Oh, the Red Devil. Yeah, because there's that some people, I remember seeing it when I was a teenager, and I dare say it was the actual, pretty much proper genetic that these people try to do. It was very nice and it looked pretty good. It wasn't, it was cool. Didn't, think, and I can still remember it. And obviously, I didn't really recognize the traits and shit, but it was good. But then I also remember times where it's like, because that initial stuff had some calyx development, yeah, and there was little light green bits, but the pistils were red as, and there was a lot of them. Whereas there's some PTR shit which is just fucking hairy as with the red hairs, or but they'll be like, oh, this is Red Devil. You're like, nah, brother, this is fucking red poo.
Yeah.
Anyway, can't be, you can't be fussy, I guess, because shit, it does the trick, I guess, sometimes when there's nothing there to smoke,
Yeah.
And for years I was smoking it as a teenager.
Oh, when you don't know any better, fucking people think it's because I don't know, it's a little bit of a trick the way they do it and fucking up, because it makes it sort of look better for bag, if you like, because it's so dense and hard, great for selling.
Mm.
Yeah, so people think it's grouse, and they're not realising that they're fucking buying filth until they're shown. I didn't know what PGR was until I started seeing all these fuck PGR stickers everywhere. I'm like, what the fuck is PGR? So I googled the shit.
Oh, really?
And Google PGR, and then Google PGR weed, and fucking like, oh, fucking hell. It was just like
This
that
was
shit.
what, in the past couple of years?
Like fucking 4 years ago, yeah. 4 or 5 years ago.
Wow. But, okay, oh shit. Oh my goodness. Oh, we're gonna try to put the link down in there. No, that's not the fucking If Uncle Gee wants to come up, man. If not, good. But PTR, right? Like, it just is a form of nutrient, or is it these certain chemicals?
Well, I think there's fucking that many terms among it now and stuff like that. I think most of it nowadays refers to some shit they spray on after harvest, like liquid weight and shit like that they call. It's sprayed on after harvest to add weight and density to the buds.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But then that's
And then
not
that
plant
was like,
growth regulator. That's a fucking.
no, that's not. And then fucking before that become the latest craze, there used to be and still is like fucking stuff that you can put within in the nukes. It's not
So
the
just
density
say,
rat pellet pig. Yeah. Yeah. Fucking definitely. Cloudscape. He knows the red devil you're talking about. Fair.
oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I just remember it having like these little, you could see, it was mostly red hairs, really bright red hairs, but there was this tiny kind of, like, they were calyx, you could just remember being like little teardrop type shaped green bits, drugs on it. Yeah, a long time, there's only one off too.
Oh, yeah, well, we've all seen it, mate. It's fucking filth.
There are certain strains which come out like that though, right? I mean, that's what,
Yeah.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
referring
Well,
to here.
yeah, well, like all those fucking latest strains coming out of America all look like they're hippie PGRs because the fucking sugar leaf and the leaf ratio to bud ratio is way down, like compared to what you'd expect. Like it's really got great bag appeal and shit like that. And that was it's sort of what PGR, fucking original PGR and the newt sort of did to buds. Like, yeah. But this latest shit and fucking what they do with spraying. It's just horrible, I think.
Yeah, that's real. I remember seeing some doco with, but this brand or something. Like,
Apparently in
what
Europe,
is that?
this fucking shitty ass weed sprayed with fucking crap is the fucking end all, be all and end all. That's all the dealers want, and that's all the people want to buy because of the fucking chemical rush they're getting from the fucking sprayed on shit. It's like spice, like that fucking crap you'd buy out of fucking that fake cannabis shit you'd buy out of fucking porn, like fucking sex shops.
Yeah, basalt doing it.
Yeah.
No, what did potpourri or basalt? No, it's not the Easter potpourri spice. Yeah. I remember I gave that a go once, knowingly. I don't know if I was already affected by something else or whatever, but I just didn't notice it. And didn't like it. It was like, fuck, man, why the fuck would you want to have this? There was a group of people and they liked it. They were loving it. I'm like, nah,
Yeah.
it's like the real weed's way better.
Same thing happened to me. Like, fucking dude come over and had it. I had it willingly once, and I was like, why the fuck would you want to smoke that? Like, it's horrible. You could smoke the real thing and get the proper feeling. Why would you want to do that? And yeah, the first thing it said was, because it doesn't show up in piss test on parole. I think that's weird. It's who was it mainly mostly popular with people on fucking parole.
Yeah. Swap my hang on a sec. Go to swap the headphones. You there, mate? Hopefully. Is it 1, 2? Oh no, wait, it's probably going. Yo, what's it? Oh shit. Ding, 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 ding.
Yep, for sure. It's definitely what I noticed. One guy, mate, was that obsessed with it in this town, mate. Fucking hell. He would not stop smoking it. And he got that. Used to try and fucking borrow $5 off you every time he seen it. Like, if you're silly enough to stop and offer him a lift, mate. Like, you're fucking. That's the only place he wanted a lift to. It was the sex shop to buy spice and that. And usually it was one or two. Either he was going to ask you $5 so he could have enough to get it, or he'd ask you to go into the sex shop and buy it for him because he was no longer allowed in there because he'd fucking gone in without money, and when they put it on the counter, just snatched it and fucking ran out the door.
Right. Oh, that's kind of fucked. There's only one place we can fucking get it from, so he's like,
exactly, yeah. Yep. And then fucking, he was like acting all weird, fucking, he used to talk to himself and say some weird ass stuff like about fucking crack dealers and that he wanted to go kill them all and stuff like this. And then ask you if you were one and stuff like
What?
yeah, just a weird dude, like weird ass shit. And then fucking, didn't see him for a couple of weeks, right? I'm talking to someone and it's like, he goes, oh, mate, across the road, Danny murdered him. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, tortured him for 3 days and murdered him in his own house, just across like the car
No
park
shit,
from his
yeah.
back. Yeah, that's how badly it fried him, mate. He got that paranoid and weirded out that some dude who was
Whipped him out
foolish
for
enough.
3 days.
Yeah, foolish enough. Yeah, and was being nice to him, had given him a lift and obviously allowed him to come there to have a smoke and stuff, and he just wigged out on him and fucking tortured and killed this dude. And I was like, wow, that could have been me, man, if I fucking had just picked him up that day, like, and give him a lift to the sex shop, like, because usually he would have asked to come back and use me bong or something. Right? I was like, wow, man, I'm glad, because I'd stopped giving him lifts because, like, fucking, and it was like 2 weeks after I'd stopped fucking even bothering to pick him up and ask if he wanted a lift to the sex shop, because he wasn't trying to help himself and it was fucking him up, and he still had his wits with him where you could sort of point it out to him that you're not thinking straight, man. Like, you're doing some weird ass shit, and he'd go, yeah, and acknowledge it and fucking accept what you're saying to him, but not do anything to fix it, though. So if someone's not helping themselves, you can't help someone that's not helping themselves. So I stopped picking him up and asked him for lifts. And then 2 weeks later, find that out, and I was just, wow. And that poor cunt, and maybe it would have been me and not that dude if I didn't stop. Like, and I felt bad, like, in a way, for that dude, because he obviously fucking befriended the fucking cunt to get lifts afterwards or whatever.
When was that? 3 years ago? Or?
Yeah, a couple of years back now.
Oh, God, man. Fuck.
the dude's ex-missus and fucking one of his kids is friends with my one. They've been for like.
And then what did he do? He went on the run, or what?
No.
They found him at that house. They found him doing the bullshit.
Yeah. I think he come out and fucking. I think he come over and told the next door neighbour that he murdered the dude and stuff. Yeah. I think he'd come clean to the rest of the units around, and they just went, "What the fuck?" And yeah, I just got dealt with. They were all interviewed and stuff around it and stuff like that. Yeah.
Man.
So, yeah. And they should, yeah, I suppose they try and ban that stuff and then they just change one fucking molecule makeup and fucking get through the legalities again. Yeah, until the cops test it and find out that this fucking, the molecules change and ban it again. The next sequence of the fucking molecule change.
Oh, yeah.
It was the worst little loophole. Yeah, it was the worst little loophole the government thought they were allowing. Like, oh, we'll allow this synthetic stuff and that'll be safer than the real stuff. Yeah, opened up a can of worms.
Yeah.
They can't stop that.
Yep.
The only way they could probably stop it is by banning all the precursor drugs that can make all the molecule chains like possible. Like they did with fucking trying to shut down all the fucking speed thing, cooking and all that shit. And fucking, even though that didn't really work. I suppose they made it a lot harder for people just to source the chemicals directly though.
You'll find a way. Have you seen this report? I don't know if you can read it there. I think banana stars. Sandra. It's like 1 ounce. It's a 30-gram tub. Elevated in the haven't tried it myself. I think Patel has a couple other people maybe. Sandra diesel. 26% indica dominant. Unique genetic growing manufactured domestically in Australia. Impressive terpene combined with impressive 26% THC delivers relaxed sensation, which is found efficacious for so many conditions. Including it doesn't say lineage or terpenes. We'll check this out. Speaking of next, but 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, a lot of terpenes there. It's heavy in mycene and alpha-pinene.
Oh, my thing. You can have a bit of couch lock that one.
And camphene.
Camphene. That'd smell a little bit more like fucking a mix of menthol and something. Camphor.
I'm actually low in cactus towards there, but it's more heavier in beta-pinene and caryophyllene and limonene, Q-limonene.
Wow, it's going to be a piney, real piney,
Yeah.
mentholy smell.
What is it? So 3 something. 350 for 30. Wow. So it's $10 a gram. Kind of.
Do you know what myrcene smells like specifically? The terp?
No.
Either do I. Does anyone know what myrcene smells like specifically? Because pinene, limonene, amphetamine, those are all pretty specific terpene profiles. Tangerine.
You said, what does it smell like? Well, is that what you asked?
Yeah, well, terpenes are the smell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hang on a sec. I just got it up. It said Oh, fuck, I didn't mean to. Oh, no, it's all good. I'll do this. Do that. Do that. Okay. What does good old Google? So it's supposed to be the earthy, fruity, and clove-like aroma. In culinary and perfume use, mycene aroma is that earthy, fruity, and clove-like, pungent in high concentrations. Mycene synergizes the activities of terpenes and other compounds in a variety of ways. Well, in a particular molecule.
So what it says realistically,
Mycene kind of beautiful. Say it again, bro.
so realistically, it enhances all the other terpenes.
Well, it says there, yeah, it makes, does something with it in a variety of ways.
Yeah.
What terpene smells like gas? Simple answer is the even balance of mycene and limonene terpenes cause the gas.
Oh, mycene and lemonade. Cause the
Therefore,
gas.
go for the first thing here. So the second one says, what does mycene taste or smell like? Mycene is reported to have a sweet yet spicy scent and taste. Some people say that the flavor profile reminds them of mango. Mycene is also found in cardamom, basil, lemongrass, and hops, accounting for earthy, peppery taste in certain people. Does mycene get you like? Here another one. What does cauliflower?
Have a good night.
Jenny, Moser. Peace, brothers. Thanks, man. This terpene, beta-carotene. This terpene has a spicy and peppery aroma associated with smelling cracked pepper. That's the black pepper one.
Wow.
Cannabis strains with high beta-carotene levels are known as a musky or spicy. Some are distinguished to have a funky profile. Yeah, that was one of the doctors said he's got that's pain relief, really dedicated to that. And so I asked, and he said it's found in pepper. And I said, what? So if I crush the pepper up and put it through the volcano, do you think I'll get some effect? I never did it. Should have done it. But get some pain relief. He said yes. He kind of giggled and said yes, most likely.
The giggle makes me think his answer wasn't sincere.
Yeah, he's a bit of like, yeah. He didn't know either, though, too. So.
Yeah. Yes. So he'll tell you that.
Yeah, sure, go for it. And tell me what it does next week. If you fucking do it. Let's see, what's my... What is the terpene? Gerano. Check it out. Meet Geraniol. Sweet cannabis terpene with a citrus aroma. Best tasting carotene. It's up to, I guess it depends on the person. Limonene, mycene, valencine, luteolin. I don't know, geraniol. Fruity terpene. Let's see here. What? Terpene does.
Oh, hang on, I might have to head to bed, man. I'm gonna have to get up early and load the rest of this car to move. All right, mate. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Have a good night. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay, brother.
We've got 3 hours.
Yeah.
Mate, catch you later, mate. Have a good night. Catch you, everyone.
Man, thanks, bro. Monty's 420. check them out. If everybody's checking this out of the replay, because I'm sure everybody in the chat is aware. Appreciate everybody still hanging around. Matters. Drop the info in the chat. It's pretty cool. I'm not sure if you can read the screen either. Hope you can. I'm just not sure how to zoom. Just keyboard. Unless there's somebody that has a shortcut. Maybe just type it in. Mm-hmm. Oh, hello everybody. It's all a tool. It should be a lot closer. You can read that. So what terpene does strawberry have? Just thought that. Yeah. I don't think I really haven't tried it. Is there? No, I suppose this that there are straw. Strawberry kush, strawberry cough. But I like blueberry, definitely. Like those berries. And I guess one of the kind oranges, that's a blackberry, black cherry, sorry. Cherry something rather. Strawberry itself, like strawberry milkshake, strawberry milk and stuff. It's alright, but it wouldn't be my go-to favorite. But really, real strawberry, because that doesn't taste like the fake stuff. I prefer like different colored berries. It's really yummy, good for you. What is the most powerful cannabis strain? When it comes to high THC strains, several sources, including leading cannabis magazine High Times, report that Godfather OG is the strongest marijuana strain in the world. It's an indica-leaning hybrid strain that has THC levels cresting 35%, and some say that it could be even higher. Holy moly. Holy moly. See if this is included. Oh, so is there. Is that the Godfather? What it is? The Girl Scout, Central Glue, Death Star, which is, I think that's on our medical, right? This carafile rich indica is cross between Sensi Star and Sour Diesel. Sweet petrol or yum, see? Sweet gas, 18% THC, Death Star before bed. That's pretty sure it's on the medical. I hear people talk about it. Strawberry banana or straw banana. Kosher Kush, that's also on the couple of medical ones. Wow. So out of this is according to this website, Very Life. One of the strongest marijuana strains. Oh no, there you go. Then what's down there? Oh, yeah, still the strongest marijuana strains too. No, all those ones. Yeah. So Girl Scout, it's not a medical one. You can get it quite easily if you want to try it. Death Star, I'm sure, but of course, yeah. Go back up here. Say, I want to see the pictures. Godfather OG, also known as Godfather Donald OGs, the OG Godfather, is a potent indica marijuana framework across a triple X OG and alpha OG. The effects of this are sedating and relaxing. Nice. See if they say the same. Okay, so they've got a different. Godfather OG is not for beginners, as this strain carries an extremely high THC content tested. It's high as 28%. Most smokes found in your local dispensary will average around 25. I'll check out the images for a second. Different, some purple tint, some straight green and orange though. This here is kind of like what the Red Devil had a similar look like here. Look it up. What's that? That white queen, sister of crypto, supposedly. What? Not that. Did it look anything kind of similar, but it's a bit more white than that. Like, I'm gonna try it on the weekend. The White Queen, more accomplished relative of the infamous White Widow, a strain for connoisseurs. White Queen, not for everybody to see. Maybe it's not related to Godfather, just been talking. What strain is White Queen? 65-35 indica dominant. Users can expect stress to melt away as your mind drifts into a utopian dream state. This green leaf bud is covered in yellow hairs and gives off a scent of reminiscent of diesel and lime zest. Yes, that's brilliant. What is the strongest cannabis strain ever? Oh, we just looked at that, so that's in 34. Yeah, I'll go back into the chat. Oh, where everybody's saying the ring. Second to that, I've tried the Strawberry Field Strawberry Diesel plus 98 Aloha White Widow from the Blazing Pistolos. Very strawberry young. So I suppose I was saying the country the other day too. That's just a preference for me. I say a lot, the sweet and the gas live together. But then I do really appreciate prominent terps, whichever they are. Like a piney flower, which you come across, like when I get them, I open them up. So like it's not like, it's just, I don't know, like it's still good, or definitely it's not like a disappointment, because if it had no terps and shit, and like some of these, that's really disappointing. It's like, fuck, it's a shit. Whereas, yeah, it's got those pine that's still nice. Rather than nothing, as you're probably all aware. Take a billy up. Doing pretty well. 3 hours and something. I'll go for 3 hours and probably another bit, 20 minutes maybe. Everybody hanging around. Good. What else is there? If there's anything you want me to check up on the Google, Just type it in. I'll have a look. Oh, there's cryptochronic 1 and 2, that's right. I think I got number 2. Who's that one? Alien Labs. What's this? There's it's a TGA website, Medicinal Cannabis Hub. So we get it earlier tonight for a second. Trying to find out about that, the licenses. Articles. 31st of October 2022, two medicinal cannabis companies fined $250,000 nearly for alleged unlawful advertising. Same thing, West Australian Health Petition filed $30,000, $13,000 for alleged unlawful advertising of the medicinal flower. Through medicinal cannabis company $1 million. That's pretty much shit. I don't care about it. I don't care about it. It's not really what I'm interested in at the moment. Importation, manufacture and supply of unapproved medicinal cannabis products. Key point is a 22nd, last updated 22nd of November 2022. The importation, manufacture and supply of unapproved medicinal cannabis products is tightly regulated in order to manage the risk of unlawful supply and to ensure necessary public health alerts and recalls can be managed appropriately. To that end, the direct control requirement in the Therapeutic Goods Regulation 1990 is in place to ensure that the sponsor remains responsible for product control and supply decisions throughout the supply chain. If you import or manufacture finished medicinal cannabis products that are not entered in the Australian Register of Therapeutic Goods, you can only supply those products if they are held under your direct control until they are supplied under an approved pathway to an authorized prescriber or special access scheme approval holder, or if you comply with certain conditions. Provided you comply with these requirements, you can enter the distribution arrangement with third parties, where they provide services to assist you supplying finished medicinal cannabis products. About this guidance, processing code. That's pretty full, actually. So it's a full breakdown for like all these corporations and dispensary companies and stuff. Where it seems like, I mean, the first line here, and I think this is information which is because it's late night and shit. I would be reading it well, but it's something to know and understand because this is the utmost regulation of it, and it's obviously not foolproof and balanced evenly because we're still finding like cases and quite frequently of flowers or which just don't meet the highest standard, and it's coming from these medical things, you know, like it who's to say it might not be clean if they're not, like if there's a lot of stem, there's a lot of leaf, there's a bit of mold on certain ones, things are dry, things are expired, you know, so that's just off the top of my head 4 or 5 things which probably don't, you know, they're breaching the regulation and who's just, you know, if they're doing that, they could be like other things with pesticides and not pesticides, just, you know, not being clean with the way that it's grown and maybe, I'm just saying, hopefully not, but the fact that we get product which is expired or had a bit of mold on it, I touch wood, thankfully I've never had that mold experience, but we've seen a few other things which supposedly could be the case. Or even dry, though, like I've experienced some stale dry, like there was a price point was there, but it just fucking, it wasn't good. Quake. What's that? Cheesequake. Oh yeah. Cheesequake. Subcools the tank is across from cheese and quickle. Hint of grape is detectable. But it's base led by funk sour. Why does he keep saying what's the most powerful cannabis strain? What's the happiest cannabis strain? Camdol, according to this. Additionally recommended for AAD stress or severe chronic pain. %15 THC. Images. Nice. It's like a dream, eh? For like Australians to watch things like this, like it takes time to grow fast like this, but we just fucking not allowed to. Well, it's a beacon. Never judge the book by its cover. That's nice, man. Did I pick up that? It's a time there, it's 1 o'clock area, 10 past, but so again, I appreciate that. Everybody hanging around, chilling there, just listen to the vibe. It was really impromptu again. Just like, yeah. organize some ideas, get the content rolling. Because long streams, I guess, isn't too. But people do listen, watch them, listen to them if you get a crank in it. You can't just fucking sit here and be silent and stuff. But have people talking. Or most of the time you got to have people talking to have that long stream because you couldn't have content like a direct movie. No one's really watching that for 4 or 5 hours or longer in one sitting. But like you see the trend of a lot of these talk shows, like the chats, it's like go on for hours and hours. The podcasts, I reckon, an hour, 90 minutes. They're very popular. Everybody knows. So, rock it on. We'll be shutting down pretty soon. If you've got a bowl, like a cheers to you. I've got a cup of Kindly in the bowl. I'll smoke one now. Fucking tired, I can probably hear it in my voice. I started off like, and now cheers. What's on fire, man? It's on fire. Cheers, babe. I mean, it was just, bit of a chat. But I hope that the topic was, not that boring and a little bit relevant and a little bit insight, I guess. That's the main part. Not just like chibbity chat, like actually some relevant information. It's very important. And I guess it's very important also in the sense of the practice and respectful behavior towards the culture and the cannabis plant. And you want to pass that on or, to the viewers, try and create that culture, because and to the youth watching it, to try and create that pathway, that appreciation, that behavior, to grow that down for them to teach the next generation rather than, just fucking look about it and just like kind of hearsay things, fantasy sort of things, and not making any effort to do the change, expecting the change to just come and drop into your lap. Like, obviously there's a lot of proof of that's not a very successful way to get about your aspirations. So, diligence, consistency, putting in that effort without, you're putting in the effort without speaking about it too. Just showing the results. But not even, more about that. Appreciation of it. And I'm only hella new to it too. Once again, say that definitely, like, I had hella appreciation and connection to the brand for a long time, over 2 decades, but never really in that time realized how crucial the passionate planter is. Like somebody who really cares about the outcome of the crop, being there for the weeks on end, paying attention, nurturing the plant, and then curing it again, nurturing that to do that, to have that good result, which everybody appreciates. Like all consumers really, like, that's the main thing they talk about, appreciate. How does it look? How does it smell? How does it smoke? And it all comes down to the effort that was put in. There's months on it. And, a lot of people don't really recognize or respect that fact at all. just like, oh yeah, what's that but to do with that guy? Yeah. And that's like, that was kind of me for a long time too. Like, I appreciated the nice bloke, but didn't really recognize the effort's gone down, and the fact that that should have been the effort for kind of everybody, an intention to make that really good product. But a lot of the time it's not. And I guess, it's trial and error too, because some people don't have the right environment, the right, like, things happen. And also things don't go, like, you could have a lot of unwanted circumstance. Hopefully you can remedy them. But yeah, I'm fucking loving it too. Most definitely, like, just the whole. And I guess it is balanced too, because you have to be aware of the fact of what we're into. It's a taboo thing, risking all the time. So, you at the same time, you devote your whole energy into that. I mean, you do it every which way, but the result of your society growth or involvement, you can try and balance all that shit out, I guess. I know I haven't got that worked out, but I'm just here. Not do like the ganja. 3 minutes to go, man. Appreciate it, buddy. Lost a few people. But fucking too good, man. Where's this thing going? What is it there? Yeah, man. Seriously, bro. Appreciate everybody. And when I say, like, peace to the intelligence and balance in the room and those chats sort of thing, it's a definite, sincere thing that I'm saying. To just have a really mature kind of outlook, understanding, not respectful too, of yourself, and because we're all different. So just trying to be the most harmonious that you can be, like, achieving, but at the same time having fun and experiencing, but not going, not hurting others, not discriminating and things like that, or against yourself too, not being detrimental to yourself, not, discriminating against yourself. Be in the balance. Be progressively growing too, man, Yeah. Because in no way I was thinking like this when I was in my 20s or teens. I was always very much a similar character in the sense, like, I appreciated all this sort of stuff. I never talked to it. Never talked actually a lot, bro. Unless it was about doing some business. I just didn't see any point in just talking about the weather or fucking random shit. But still, would dig all that sort of stuff. But now, in like my 30s and shit, just trying to, I don't know, it's like I say all the time, but then, anyway, try and make the most of whichever way you go. And get a link with people that society's changing a lot. It's all the same, because we just got to eat. It's so simple. We're human beings that are connected to the earth. We came out of a mother. Yeah, we all have a mother and a father. Like, that seed went into an egg and birthed us every since then. That's just so not on the focus, right? Social media, technology, uh, forms of sexuality and things like that. That's just like, which are in no way a part of reproduction or our initial uh, traditional sense of being and survival. That's the other part. The water, the air, the plants, the grass, the fire. We need the fire too. That's very important. But it's a huge thing. I feel at ease there. Just chilling, man. Just chilling. I think if that sense could grow true in society, it'd be a really cool thing, you know. And just taking that step in disengaging from like the traditional kind of behaviours we're taught of society to, you know, like schooling, working 9 to 5, participating with the, you know, just the way that it's give up your time, give up your mind for this, you know, but it's not really equating to be beneficially back because you don't, you know, your life is gone in the sense of these authorities. They're not there looking at each person trying to make your life better and help and make things kind of be better between other people, but definitely wanting you to be 100% helping their establishment grow and progress, which is definitely evident. So shit, that if it's our life, it's just one life we've got an experience, right? We might come back here, like we might come back to the plane, but like, or we might not. But shit, you know, we grow up, we get older. So you want to have the best possible experience, right? And listen to yourself, find that balance, man. Do the things which is best for you, which is you. Yeah. And but then at the same time, like, you know, try and find a partner and be harmonious, right? Which is what I'm coming down to before, the mum and dad. So you've got to find a well girl if you're a boy. And the same way, like have a beneficial partner which you together are both happy and are just willing to do the best for each other and experience things together and be, you know, progressively good. Instead of fucking weird like living off each other, live together. But firstly you gotta be with yourself, right? And try and find that. But I'm sure, you know, you can do whatever you want to do. But definitely you look at nature, that's the run with that, like animals and plants. They that's how they do it. You know? They've got it, and they work so well the way they do things. But and even like it's cool, crazy cool. Like different times, you got nocturnal things and this and that. They all come out and work together. It's amazing. So I mean, shit. Getting back to the point, right, what I was trying to get, like, if a lot of people put their sincere heart and effort into doing that, you know, you could get to that. Those realizations of outcomes would slowly start. Like, it doesn't just fall into your lap, also, too, right? So the beginnings of that process would come back, and you could start little communal areas where they're self-sustaining as much as possible, you know, and then hopefully build communities and then birth new generations and go back on that. Like I really mean that, and try and, in a sense, to keep it going. And that's got to kind of like continue. Again, each little area's got their thing going on. And I guess, I haven't come, because I'm going to say you find there'll be other areas where the same community is going on, and then they engage with each other. I was going to say, in a way of like, if they don't have one thing there, then that's how you train a partner. But I guess that's a birthing of corruption and wars and things like this. But which is probably one thing which is just a part and parcel of human life. All of these kind of mythological stories talk about that, don't they? The sense of that continuous battle and whatever. It's always just been there. But, what was I saying here? I don't know, man. Yeah, anyway, go back to that community thing, eh? Because I was thinking that also today, actually, with about, because I tend to find I walk quite a bit. I don't really don't mind that much, but I'm thinking in the sense of like how with vehicles. We're talking about it on P2Ps actually for a sec earlier today. If society's mentality changed on that, rather than, because I was talking about how like I'll tend to walk everywhere and not mind it. I do have a car, but if it's just down somewhere, I'll go walk. If it's 20 minutes walk, so I don't mind that. Even further, I'll do it. But other people might 5 minutes just around the corner, but they'll take the car. And then also in the sense of being in a city, they say having the car is useful because you've got to get around and you've got to get to places. So, if you don't, and I understand it and I see it in the current situation of society, right? Because you're missing appointments. You are able to do things faster because you get point A to B. But if the perception of the society had changed and, people would all commute differently or engage differently, I guess, back to a more sense of what I'm talking about, being more harmonious in a tribal community connection of Earth. I actually see such a more wholesome kind of, I don't know, feature in that sense. But at the same time, what stops it is there are people out there making billions of dollars, and they have done, and then they're continuing to build these foundations and establishment company type things, corporations, upon this actual thing that I'm trying to, say is, oh shit, if we moved away from it. So like the technology, the fuel, the oil, the car, all of this stuff. It's amazing. And I think a lot of people probably would have some sense of compassion to what I'm saying. Like a lot of people who are engaging in, see, this is what I'm saying. It's about disengaging from that. Because we're just human and this is what we're meant to be doing. Like, I'm working it out from there, working the land, working the thing out, living within the tribe and the community. So shit, with those corporations, yeah. So people who are, they're working on, like, their input is basically holding up this sense of the corporation, right? But at the same time, it's holding up their sense of life, right? Supporting their family, and giving them income, which they feel, is what they need, that money to pay their bills, get their family what they need and want, get them to, things like that, their living standard, which is in itself a little bit of the, well, I guess that's capitalism, right? Because you've got the corporation people too, and they're making such profit off these other people. But so that's what I'm saying. These people there will be a fair percentage of them that have compassion with what I'm saying, but can't feel that to step away because they'll feel that it'll all collapse and they won't be able to support their family, not be able to pay their things. But, I can't just like, oh, shit, I'm just to say, but that it would be able to work out because we're human beings and this is how we were born. So, it'll be a different sense of living and it might be a comfortable transition, but to the sense of your destination, it would be, I guess they say, kind of utopia, I guess, because it's natural, it's home. It would be your most natural place, especially if you were in your indigenous place or the place where your ancestors were. Because even in fact, I heard from like Gorilla or something, he was still saying in an interview that there's microbes within the soil, right, of where, like earlier, how culturally or ethnicity is different. If you eat those foods from the soil or what that's been grown in these areas that you're from, it's proven that your system starts working more efficiently, and I guess from there, thus chemicals floating around better, kind of feel a bit better. But so I can't understand it. And so now, because culture where we're at, we're eating a lot of like different processed things and food, things that's not, I guess, obviously from where we're all traditionally from. So that there's particular microbes in the soil, supposedly, which goes through the food then, right? And then when we eat the vegetables that are grown, the produce that is grown, it carries that. And then comes through as beneficial. So there's people who are afraid of like stepping away. You'll be if you can get a good patch to grow sustenance. Yeah, I think it's you'll just feel a lot better. But easy to say, and you've got to just try and be the change that you want. I definitely find that all my life, that engagement sense has always been there, and I never have really put full effort into because I've always had that sense of what's that word, like a kind of, you don't want to fully commit because you're a bit aware that hesitant, I guess, a sense of hesitance that to fully put myself to engage with our government is and do all that stuff, man, just to help, because I don't see it, man, the paying of the taxes and doing all that for that, like, and also going to a job where you don't really like, I played music and shit, and at the same time, it's weird, bro. Because they tell you the whole time not to do, because the other time I played music, but I also did a lot of things which supposedly, you're not supposed to talk about, which could have got me in trouble, but it also supported my lifestyle. And, I do see a lot of it being kind of a little bit more accepted now in the past 10 years because it's stimulating the economy at the same time. So they don't mind, man, Like, you know, and so they can let it fly, but they've got to act like they want to do what they're doing and stop a few things. But see, so it's just stopping all of that for about, you know, whatever, 6-7 years. But then there's I say it again, you know, I'm really saying that because it's fucking true. Like, my sense of being and well-being and this sense of me is kind of like it's all fucking confused now because I'm trying to do the right thing according to what this establishment authorities are telling you to do, and they tell you to do from a child and do all this. And as I said, I never really did engage with it, but I did, well, obviously, but happy, oh, no, you know, I had fun doing all these sort of things. Right? And I fortunately had pretty good parents and shit, but same way, I didn't really, you know, I did my own thing. And yeah, fuck. And fuck, man. Now I'm looking at it going, fuck, man, is that like, because I said before, this is one life we're living, and like, to make those choices because, you know, if I continue on now and like still like this past for sort of 6-7 years where I'm happy in the sense I've got my mind to where it's at, like, you know, because it was a bit distorted for a few years. Well, I don't know, whatever, but like clouded, I could say. And then, you know, but shit, going another 6-7 years like this, where I'm moving away from my initial state of mind, my natural state of when I was a youth, teenager, 20s, kind of being that, in a way, not engaging. And then, yeah, to be in my 30s and 40s and be like, oh, fuck, you know, what you lived was supposedly wrong. But fuck, it's not even that much. Like, now, I'm trying to do the right thing. People still look at you funny. You don't engage and connect with them. Society. And this is just me speaking, so I'm sure a lot of people will kind of be in the similar boat, and it's how the cycle just goes on and on. Because, yeah, shit, all people grow up and they grow old, and by the time this happens, it's like, oh, you know, you can change, most definitely. But that's still the stigma of society is there. So, what I'm trying to get at is shit, like, you don't make the right choice in the sense of, you know, trying to, in inverted commas, quotation marks, whatever, do the right thing and apply this thing. Or should I just say fuck? Because what I'm trying to, you know, they, some what I was saying before, they're not there to give you the brightest thing and try and help you. It's like you've got to put in all your effort to make the establishment work and run, but it's not really there to make anything the best. Well, manic mouth in the house. How long has he been here? Look, just tell me what you're smoking at, if you're smoking that, brother. Jeez. Mad fella. Everybody check yourself out. I don't mean to be with this. I've been streaming for like nearly 4 hours now. I said I'd stop at 3 hours 30, but still got on. I'm doing a bit of it. It's insightful, but a little bit of a kind of glass half empty type thing. Look at life in my situation, but either way. So much appreciation, bro, for coming through. And the bowl's empty now, so it's the last Billy. So those are my kind of closing words. I went on for a while though. Appreciate everybody staying through. I hope you resonate with it. It's that I really do hope you resonate because that's kind of where I'm getting at. Is not where I'm getting at, but it's one piece of something because what I'm saying in the sense of disengaging and finding the tribalness would be linking with other people that have that sincere same mindset to create that livability and community. Easier said than done, though, too, because you would have to still be real time in the same area. You know, because you have to be working the earth and things like that together, which is the steps towards doing these things. So try and make the most of it. So as I say, look inside yourself, find your direction, follow that path, be the best you can be honest, be yourself, follow your intuition, right? Because I think that's cool. Because ganja is the greatest gift given. We need to recognize nature has a remedy. This means I'll be out. Appreciate it. And like, you know, as I say, I don't have all the answers. I don't think I do. I try to tell you what to do. But just giving you sincere kind of insight into how I kind of feel and think, and yeah. Very much appreciation, eh? Peace, peace, peace to everybody. Not that one. Where is it? This one. But peace. Thank you. And see you guys soon. This is one of my longest streams ever, but or maybe I should do this more often. I'll be more organized. Stay with the gotcha. Hope you're good. Fucking lickety lick out.